West News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:10. I'm Manda Factor. A judge has temporarily blocked part of a new Washington law aimed at increasing oversight of county sheriffs. The ruling came after an emergency hearing in Thurston County where several eastern Washington sheriffs sued, calling the law unconstitutional. The measure would allow a state commission to suspend or revoke a sheriff's certification over certain conduct or speech. A judge ordered a temporary halt to parts of the law just one day before it was set to take effect. Marysville police are asking for your help as they investigate a suspicious death. KIRO 7's Dee Sun says a woman's body was found last night about 5 o'clock on Grove Street.
The Snohomish County medical examiner is now working to identify who she was and how she died. Anyone with information is asked to call the Marysville Police Department, 360-363-8378.
Pierce County shut down 45 spas, massage businesses, and wellness clinics Tuesday over fire safety concerns. The News Tribune reports 6 teams of fire marshals and code enforcement officers fanned out across Pacific Avenue from Parkland through Spanaway and down to Elk Plain. They also hit businesses on Meridian from south of Puyallup through South Hill and into Graham. Fire Marshal Ken Price called it the largest fire code enforcement action in recent memory. Each business got a stop work order and a red no trespassing sign on the door. They can reopen once they fix the violations and prove they are up to code. Microsoft beat Wall Street expectations, posting a strong fiscal third quarter. Revenue rose 18% to nearly $83 billion, with its Azure cloud business surging 40%. CEO Satya Nadella called this a defining moment for the industry.
We are at the beginning of one of the most consequential platform shifts that will change the entire tech stack as agents proliferate and become the dominant workload.
Nadella says AI is now a $37 billion a year business for Microsoft and a major driver of Azure growth. The company reported spending nearly $32 billion this quarter to build up its AI infrastructure. And Amazon also beat Wall Street expectations across the board, reporting first quarter revenue of more than $181 billion, up 17% from a year ago. Amazon Web Services, the biggest driver, growing 28% year over year. CEO Andy Jassy says AI demand is fueling the surge.
It's very unusual for a business to grow this fast on a base this large. We've never seen a technology grow as rapidly as AI.
Amazon plans to spend about $200 billion this year on new investments tied mainly to AI. A warning from state recreational organizations: camping could be much messier than usual thanks to both state and federal budget cuts. KIRO 7's Brandon Thompson reports from North Bend, where he says the impact will be very obvious.
People are probably going to notice this right away, even as soon as the trailhead. I've been told that bathrooms, some of them were overflowing across the state last year, and we checked out this one. I'm not going to open that, but just take my word that it needs addressed very soon. But in addition to that, nearly half of Forest Service roads in Washington were impacted by winter storms, and with the statewide drought, there's wildfire concern as well.
Well, the Mariners capped off their road trip with a ninth-inning comeback win over the Minnesota Twins. Second baseman Cole Young came through with the game-winning hit.
Cole Young has done it again. He's come through, Mr. Clutch, drives home 2, and the Mariners have the lead. It's 4-3.
Final score was 5-3. Mariners went 5-1 on this road trip. They're now back to 500 for the season. Day off today, they'll host the Kansas City Royals for a 3-game series starting tomorrow. It's 5:13. Time for a check on the drive this early Thursday morning. Chris Sullivan is here. Good morning.
Good morning, Amanda. We're off to a very good start. No real issues across the board. Travel times are great. Olympia to Tacoma is only a half an hour, followed up by a 35-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle, and nothing between Tacoma and Federal Way. Puyallup to Renton, only 35 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is just about 15. Across the lake, no problems. Coming down from the north end, nice and easy as well. 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. So all in all, we are off to a very good start on this Thursday morning. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
How about some more sunshine? We're going to see partly sunny skies, warming to 72 for today. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same, maybe a little bit more in the way of cloud cover. Saturday, partly sunny, 70s too. We're still looking for up around 79 for Sunday and Monday as well. Right now in Seattle, we have clear skies. It's 51. Coming up, KIRO News Radio's James Lynch looks at the legacy of the oldest person in the state of Washington, a woman named Elma Cam, who died this year. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO Newsradio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app.
Yep, it's raining out there. Integrity Roofing and Construction is your trusted local roofing team. Integrity offers free estimates, and their customer satisfaction speaks for itself. They'll keep your home leak-free and protected from the northwest rains. Visit integrityrc.com to schedule a roof assessment or video inspection today. With years of experience in roofing and restoration, their skilled team can help with a simple roof repair or a full renovation. Don't wait until the next storm hits. Schedule your free estimate today. Visit integrityrc.com. That's integrityrc.com.
My name is Carlos, and I'm a Cub Scout. I'm here to talk to you today about becoming a scout like me. Cub Scouts get badges for doing fun activities, and we make friends. Scouts go camping, climbing, and fishing, and swimming together. We play sports and go to parades. Scouts also help people and become the best versions of themselves. Visit bascout.org to find a pack near you, get any questions answered, and sign up for Cub Scouts online.
I'm here with Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, you were just telling me you think 2026 is going to be a rebound year for the housing market.
That's right. I think we're heading into the best real estate market of the past 4 years. And here's why. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, experts are anticipating a 15% increase in sales volume next year. Interest rates are at near 3-year lows and trending down, and home prices have held near all-time highs. There is a lot of pent-up demand. People have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their time to jump into the market since 2022, and they need a place to buy.
So, hey, 2026 might be your year. If you're considering selling your home, if you're thinking about moving, but there was something that was just holding you back, now might be a great time. So do this. Go to sellwithwes.com. You can see your home's real value there with Wes's home value calculator. Then schedule an appointment by giving him a call. Sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
Hi, everyone. Super Bowl champ Vernon Davis here from Legal Help Center. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up, because we have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. You can find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. The call is free, the consultation is free, and you can speak with a live agent right now. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident of any kind, call now to find out if you have a case and how much you could potentially get.
Thanks, Vernon. You heard it, folks. If you've been injured, call and find out how much you qualify for. Call 800-266-6200. That's 800-266-6200. 800-266-6200. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states. Not available in California.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show. Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
It is 5:18. Good morning. Today in Seattle at Evergreen Washelli Funeral Home and Cemetery, Elma Cam will be laid to rest. May not know the name, but she is a historically significant figure. Elma Cam was the oldest living Washingtonian before her death April 9th. She was 112 years, 133 days old. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch spoke with Alma's granddaughter about the family's matriarch and a life well lived.
I have enjoyed thoroughly reading about your grandmother and looking at all the pictures. Talk to me about her and the things about her that make you smile when you talk about her.
You know, there's so many things that make me smile about her. I mean, her warm heart, her energy, her drive. I mean, somebody who has always been inspirational. As somebody who, you know, was born before women could vote and then, you know, worked her entire life all the way until she was 80 and owned a bakery, operated a bakery, and just was just an amazing person, very driven, very loving in her own way, and just an amazing role model who really strived to do well by everybody around her.
Talk to me a little bit about when you think back on her life, what are the things that impress you the most about her life?
What really impressed me the most about her life is what she has gone through and all the things that she's done to better her life. So she was born, and the Great Depression happened. She decided courageously to move with, to across the country to California at the time. Her and my grandpa drove through the night to get married in Reno. And they just really built that life together. They wanted the best for their kids. And they really came around to where they moved where the opportunity was. And they took hold of that opportunity. And that opportunity, whether it took them from California to Portland to Spokane and ultimately Seattle, where they really landed in Seattle and really just made the best life and enjoyed just the little things in life. Like my grandma's favorite thing was to sit in the sun and enjoy that feeling on her body. And that's pretty amazing to still enjoy all the simple things when no matter what else is going on in the world, whether, it's the bombing of Pearl Harbor, which she remembers, or, going to war, having Vietnam War, so much, adversity that has always gone on, and her just wanting to just see the best in people and really get to know them. That's what really was inspiring and great to me. Something that a lot of people here in Seattle would probably remember is that she owned a bakery on Capitol Hill. Can you talk to me about that? Yeah, so she owned Carolyn's Cakes Bakery. She had bought it from Carolyn. So everybody thought Carolyn was her name. But she didn't want to change the name because she wanted that history. And so she and my grandpa owned it. They operated it for 52 years. And they made it their own. So she was the front person. She decorated the cakes. She greeted the customers. Well, my grandpa, woke up at 3:00 in the morning to go to the bakery to make all the baked goods. And they had their system. Like he had learned from some people in Oregon how to fry donuts. And that's what he had done, on Saturdays. Saturday was donut day. I remember going there as a kid and getting the donuts. It's not the same type of bakery, but it is there today. And she was very proud of all that they had done and all the family members that had owned or worked in that bakery, and the neighborhood kids that worked in the bakery, stopped by the bakery. She was just known for that on Capitol Hill, and she loved it, and she loved the interaction with all of her customers.
So she's going to be laid to rest on Thursday. When you look forward to that day, or look ahead to that day, what do you think the emotions are going to be?
Oh, I think it's going to be a roller coaster. I mean, on one hand, she was 112 years old. I mean, she was the oldest woman or oldest person in the state of Washington. And, she made the record books. If you look up all of the different sites for centenarians and super octogenarians, the words I didn't even know before. And you look up that and you see that she made it to 112 years and 4 months and did so well with all of her faculties. I mean, even as of, just a little bit ago on Easter, we saw her and she was sharing stories and talking about it. And to be able to have that kind of interaction, to be as old as I am even, and to have my grandmother still alive, it's a true blessing. So it'll be met with definite sadness. She was the heir. She was, the matriarch of the family. So it'll be very sad, but very impressive and just a very sweet time.
112 years old. It's 5:23. It's going to be a sunny day, partly cloudy, 72 for today. For tomorrow, a few more clouds will roll in, 71, but back to the sunshine on Saturday, 72. Still looking for highs up around 80 for both Sunday and Monday, with lots of sunshine for the first part of next week. Right now in Seattle, it's 51 degrees. And coming up, KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey has a tech talk, a closer look at the earnings reports for several big tech companies and how AI investments are impacting those results. That's just ahead here on Seattle's Morning News.
Summer's a busy time for most businesses, and WaFd Bank is here to help you keep up. WaFd Bank has you covered with free business checking, business credit cards, credit lines, and other services to move your business forward. WaFd also offers payment processing, so customers can pay through a kiosk, a mobile app, or online for seamless transactions. And with so many options, WaFd Bank is quickly becoming an SBA preferred lender of choice, so you'll find the perfect fit to meet your goals. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com, member FDIC, loan subject to credit approval.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
He flew fighter jets in 2 wars and taught you how to drive a car. He fed everyone on the block, but never shared his secret recipes. And every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage. The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at StoryCorpsConnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
You pledged your life to serve. You made sacrifices, lost loved ones. At VA, we don't see the falls you've taken. We see the 1,000 times you've stood back up. We embrace your uniqueness and won't trivialize your hardships. We can't promise to heal all wounds or wash away all trauma, but we do see a path forward. We see all veterans. We see you. Learn how treatment works and recovery is possible. Visit MakeTheConnection.net.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perongo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com. StapleScene.com.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
Get new Lake Washington windows and doors with a lifetime transferable warranty installed this year, and don't pay for them until next year. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:30. I'm Manda Factor. Gun violence in King County dropped sharply in the first 3 months of the year. The King County Prosecutor's Office says shots fired incidents fell 28% in the first quarter of this year. That's compared to the same period last year, making it the lowest first quarter total since 2020. Shooting deaths also hit an 8-year low, with just 9 homicide victims reported. Both Seattle and South King County saw significant declines in gun violence. The man authorities say shot a Stevens County Sheriff's deputy this week reportedly told his family he wanted to go out in a blaze of glory.
66-year-old Jim Jordan died after a gunfight with law enforcement outside a home in Suncrest, which is 30 minutes outside of Spokane. This was on Tuesday morning. The spokesman review reports the wounded deputy was responding to a home burglary and is expected to recover. Other officers tried to negotiate with Jordan, who stayed in the house. They later sent in a drone, which revealed he'd apparently died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Jordan had been charged with several crimes, including assault, unlawful imprisonment, and harassment in connection with a domestic violence incident in March. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
There is new information this morning about a kidnapping attempt in West Seattle, where an 8-year-old girl was targeted. KIRO 7's Jack Billy reports attempted kidnapping charges have now officially been filed against 22-year-old Christian Boogie Markham.
Know your people that are around you. Know their kids. Know them by first name. Have the phone numbers, and look out for each other.
The victim's father spoke to KIRO 7 on the condition that he not be identified. He recounted the terrifying ordeal and says the tight-knit neighborhood helped police find the attempted kidnapper and bring him to justice.
Boogie Markham has no criminal history. He's due back in court on Monday. Researchers say a high number of gray whales are washing ashore in Washington. Since the start of the year, 16 dead whales have been documented statewide, 13 of them just this month. Scientists tell KIRO 7 TV most of the whales showed signs of severe malnutrition, likely tied to warming waters that are shrinking the food supply. Some whales also show evidence of ship strikes and entanglements. The Everett City Council has approved more money for a new stadium to host the Everett Aqua Sox. KIRO 7's Jake Chapman reports supporters say it's needed to meet updated Major League Baseball standards.
The city says the new location will not only keep the team in town, but bring in even more growth to the city. Yeah. City Council passed an additional $10.6 million to be spent on the $120 million project. That money is coming from what the city calls an interfund, which is part of the city's general fund.
The council voted 6-1 in favor of putting the money toward the new Everett Outdoor Event Center. The Lake Stevens man who created one of the most popular action figures of the early 80s has died.
And the masters of the universe. I am Adam, Prince of Eternity.
Remember He-Man? Roger Sweet was a toy designer at Mattel who came up with the muscle-bound action figure in the early 80s. Daily Herald of Everett reports he was 91. Sweet's creation became the centerpiece of the Masters of the Universe franchise, which also included the villains Skeletor and He-Man's sister She-Ra. Sweet created those characters, too. He left Mattel in 1991 and later wrote a memoir accusing company executives of trying to take credit for his ideas. It's 5:33. Now it's time for a check on traffic. And for that, Chris Sullivan.
And we do have a crash to tell you about, blocking a couple of lanes, actually, on southbound I-5, trying to get into the heart of Seattle. Right before Mercer, we've got a crash impacting the left side of the freeway and the right side of the freeway. You're squeezing by in the middle, kind of like a tube of toothpaste. You got nowhere to go except right through the middle. And the backup is kind of to about the 520 bridge, maybe a little bit before. So plan on at least 10 extra minutes through that corridor as we try to deal with this crash. Other than that, the rest of the map looks really good. Olympia to Tacoma, only 30 minutes, 35 from Federal Way to Seattle. Puyallup to Renton, only 35. Renton to Bellevue is only 15. Lake bridges are still good. The drive down 405 away from Linwood also looking really good as well. So if you're coming down I-5, you're going to do really well. But boy, you get to the 520 bridge and you're going to hit it all stop pretty quickly. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Another nice day. Partly sunny, 72 for today. Might see a few more clouds for tomorrow, 71. Still very pleasant. Saturday, partly sunny, 72, and still looking for highs pushing 80 both Sunday and Monday. Looks like Tuesday will still be nice, but we'll cool back down to the low 70s. It's 50 in Seattle right now.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News. Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's morning news.
It's 5:35 in today's Tech Talk. After yesterday's closing bell, Wall Street turned its focus to big tech. Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Alphabet all released their quarterly earnings. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports it wasn't just about the numbers. It was also about getting a clear read on whether artificial intelligence is delivering results.
As Seattle Times reporter Alex Halverson puts it, Wednesday's earning reports turned into a showdown between Wall Street and big tech.
Wall Street is getting a little impatient and wants to see some ROI, and the companies are pretty firm in maintaining that this is a long-term, investment or bet or, however you want to characterize it.
In other words, Wall Street analysts want Microsoft, AWS, and Google to reveal their total cloud revenue growth because they want to know if they're making cold, hard cash or not after betting big on AI and pouring truckloads of money into data centers and hardware like microchips, better known in the tech and financial world as CapEx. CapEx stands for capital expenditures. Just this year, Amazon is projecting spending around $200 billion in CapEx. Alphabet, owner of Google, plans a record $185 billion, and Microsoft is on pace to top $100 billion in AI-related CapEx. Randy Williams-Gurian, a senior wealth advisor with Hightower Bellevue, tells me, while that's a lot of spending, tech companies are still figuring out where to get the most bang for those CapEx bucks. Like they're still throwing their AI spaghetti against the wall to see what sticks.
But I think the growth is going to be there, but I think the monetization is going to be a little more slow to materialize. And then it's a question of whether investors are going to be patient enough to see that play out.
The problem is a lot of folks on Wall Street or investors want to see that monetization right now. And as Halverson says, they don't like it when these companies spend, and show less than projected revenue growth and none of the spaghetti sticking.
Analysts they're not stoked when Microsoft or Amazon or Google or any of these companies come in and say, hey, we know we told you we were going to spend this much. It's actually going to be a bit more.
So that is part of the reason big tech made all those layoffs. Amazon laying off tens of thousands of workers in the beginning of the year. Microsoft just announced an early retirement buyout program right before their earnings call. Here's Williams-Gurian.
And so they have that leverage, and that's what they'll go back and do to kind of offset.
And that leaves investors split into two camps. Either you back the billions being poured into CapEx to build the future of AI, or demand immediate returns driven by cloud revenue growth.
It's like a interesting little dance, I think, between Wall Street and these companies.
The issue is, while big tech is boiling the spaghetti and throwing as much of it against the wall as they can, as fast as they can, Wall Street likes their spaghetti al dente and ready to eat right now. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Stop. Why stop?
Ford posted a stronger than expected first quarter profit.
Ford's $2.5 billion profit was helped by a $1.3 billion tariff refund. But Chief Financial Officer Sherry House says they also had a strong product mix and kept the line on costs.
Our team is aggressively managing a complex external environment.
Ford is making money on commercial and gasoline-powered vehicles, and they cut their losses on electric vehicles. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
Almost 10 years after it faded to black, there is talk of bringing back a popular reality TV series.
Donald Trump back as host of The Apprentice. The Wall Street Journal is reporting Amazon is considering a potential reboot of the reality TV show starring the president's son, Don Jr. The Journal says discussions are in the early stages, and Amazon hasn't actually approached the Trump family yet. If it does get made, it would appear on Prime and could have President Trump's eldest child echoing his famous phrase,
"You're fired."
Amazon paid $40 million to license the First Lady's documentary, Melania. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
The Apprentice had a 14-season run on NBC. National headlines coming up next here on KIRO Newsradio.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Owie, wowie.
What's with the
water heater's worn out?
Way less hot water?
Takes a lot longer, too.
Sounds like a goner.
Worst of all,
what?
Wasn't planning on it.
We can help.
Apollo Plumbing.
Ready right now to get you
in hot water.
Same day.
Not this day. My budget.
How about with easy payments?
How much easy?
Around $50 a month with approved credit.
A new water heater?
50 gallons of 100% hot water delight.
For about $50 a month.
51, 52 to be precise.
And you can do it
today if that's what you need.
Is it ever?
Apollo installs new ones with code upgrades.
Can't beat that.
Actually, I can.
What?
Your same-day water heater replacement includes Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Which means?
Apollo Plumbing covers your new water heater for life.
You mean should it ever wear out?
Apollo Plumbing replaces it free.
And if it needs service?
Service is included for our A-list members.
Wow!
Your new water heater is ready
right now
at ApolloPlumbing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody. It's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see you in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
There are 6 markets you can place your money in. Research suggests it's better to have exposure to all 6 markets. Don't miss a potential opportunity because you didn't strategically diversify your assets. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Request your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing in your portfolio. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
CBS News Brief. Drivers are smarting this morning as the U.S.-Iran conflict drives gas prices up to a new 4-year high of an average $4.30 a gallon. For this food delivery driver in Detroit,
it definitely sucks because I'm not making as much money doing this anymore because most of the money goes to gas.
The House has passed a Senate-approved resolution to unlock funding for DHS and Secret Service. Republican Mike Lawler questioning Democrats who voted no after the shooting at the Correspondents' Dinner Saturday.
They're lucky the guy was wearing a bulletproof vest. If you had a Secret Service agent who wasn't being paid, shot, point-blank range, what is their response to that?
The Coast Guard struggling to pay the bills. Commandant Admiral Kevin Lunday tells CBS News.
In the last few days, Station Channel Islands, California, had the power cut off. A station in Michigan, Port Huron, had services cut off. Our air station in Barbers Point, Hawaii, had natural gas service cut off.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
And our forecast, we're going to see a few clouds today, but it should be very pleasant. 72, pretty much the same for tomorrow, maybe a few more clouds. And then on Saturday, back to the sunshine, 72, 79 on Sunday. We're still looking for a high of 79 on Monday with lots of sunshine. Right now in Seattle, we have just a few clouds. It's 50. And coming up, former State Attorney General Rob McKenna breaks down the state's lawsuit against grocery chain Albertsons, Safeway, and Hagen. That's next here on Seattle's Morning News.
All right.
Blazing blast, left field, grand slam, Rosarena!
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But for a truly elevated experience, you've got to be in a Mariner Suite. A suite is the perfect spot to get your game and celebration on. Birthday, promotion, engagement, company team building that actually team builds. No matter your event, we've got a suite you'll love. Group suites can fit 30 to 400 people for big-time bashes. And private suites offer just that, an upscale experience for more intimate gatherings. All Mariner Suites offer an incredible view of the ballpark, so you can't go wrong. Plus, you and your guests will enjoy premium catering, VIP parking, private Skybridge entry, and more. And season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve your suite today at mariners.com/suites.
Bases clearing, 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead.
Mariners Baseball, Trident's up.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Copstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision doctors have performed over 150,000 procedures and followed the outcomes. They have the experience to know when it's your right time for RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consult today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Washington Attorney General Nick Brown is suing Safeway, Albertsons, and Hagen. They all have the same corporate owner, alleging that those companies violated consumer protection laws when it comes to so-called buy one, get one free promotions.
We have the perfect person with us to help sort this out. Former Washington Attorney General Rob McKenna. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning.
Can you explain the claim specifically?
Well, I'm going to simplify it, but essentially the allegation is that Safeway and Albertsons raised prices right before they then offered a buy one, get one deal that made the product look less expensive. But because they had increased the price of a number of items, they actually, even under the buy one, get one, you were paying more. So this is, in consumer protection law, this practice of strike-through pricing is closely scrutinized. So you've probably been in the store, you've seen the tag hanging on the shelf. It had the old price, and there's a line through it, and there's the new price. Well, if you raise all the prices, and then the next day you strike through those higher prices and show a lower price, but it's actually not lower than it was a few days before that, that's unfair and deceptive. So you can't have an unfair and deceptive buy one, get one promotion, and the AG is estimating that people paid about $20 million more than they should have.
Well, what is the AG going to have to prove in order for this to be a success in court?
I think they're going to have to show that the companies were lowering prices, or I'm sorry, that they're, again, getting this backwards, that they were raising prices right before they lowered them. So the example they give is the price of olive oil at a particular Safeway. Just before the promotion, the buy one get one began, they increased the price from $6.99 for the bottle to $10.99 for the bottle of olive oil, and then they lowered it again once the sale concluded. So it just looks like a gimmick, and it's not fair to consumers when that happens.
It doesn't seem to me that would be very hard to prove.
You just collect a lot of data. I mean, it's hard in the sense that there are tens of thousands of products in any store, and buy one get one isn't offered on everything, and they're short-term promotions. So you have to notice it, and then you have to go in and conduct discovery to collect the data. Now, fortunately for the AG office, all retailers collect and keep a lot of data, all the data on their pricing, because they're trying to figure out how to price things as well. So in that sense, yeah, it's not that hard to do because it's all computerized and you can analyze it using computer programs.
Well, we hear a lot about the AG's office suing the Trump administration, the federal government. We don't hear often about this sort of case. How common is this sort of case in the state attorney general's office?
Well, it's not that common, especially relative to the hundreds of lawsuits that have been filed over the last dozen years or more against the administration. But one of the reasons it's not that common is that companies are pretty careful to stay on the right side of the law. You know, first of all, when you're accused of something like this, it's reputationally damaging. Secondly, you know, you have to go through all the expensive discovery, and then, you know, if in fact the data supports the attorney general's claim, you're going to settle for a lot of money. So it wipes out whatever additional money you thought you were making from your special promotion. So companies are careful, and it doesn't mean that mistakes aren't made, and it doesn't mean that there aren't, you know, couldn't be some retailers who try to pull a fast one. But by and large, this is such well-established law, and also consumers are such, you know, careful shoppers, and they're eagle-eyed, right? When they see this, it's just something you don't see companies doing very often. And that's true of companies generally. You know, they try to stay on the right side of the law, and, you know, sometimes they make a mistake and they get a speeding ticket.
Do you have a prediction on how this might play out?
It'll settle. Unless the AG is just 180 degrees off, it'll settle because the companies don't want the risk of litigation, the expensive litigation. So they'll end up paying some sort of restitution. And I hope that if there is a settlement here, if a settlement is warranted, that most of the restitution goes to the consumers and isn't just kept by the AG office.
While we have you, Rob, let's talk about the lawsuit over the state's new millionaire's income tax. We had Carlene Johnson from the Center Square asking Attorney General Nick Brown whether it was appropriate for his office to give advice on what seems to be something that is not necessarily constitutional and getting the Supreme Court to weigh in on it. Nick Brown told her that they gave legal advice, took no policy positions. What did you make of that interchange and where things stand?
Well, you know, I respect Attorney General Brown a great deal, and I respect that his interpretation of all those emails is that they were just giving legal advice. But a lot of other people have read them and concluded, no, they're actually trying to help legislators shape this legislation to get around the Constitution. You know, the legislative sponsor of this millionaire's tax, as he likes to call it, you know, always wants to focus on the 1933 Culleton decision, which said that income is property. He never talks about all the other Supreme Court decisions which reached the same conclusion, and he never talks about why all of those Supreme Court decisions came down the same way, that income is property, because he doesn't want to tell people that they don't have a property right in their income. And since the definition of property under our Constitution is that it's everything tangible and intangible subject to ownership, he and other legislators and the governor have to explain to people why they don't have an ownership interest in their income, and they can't do it. So they just focus on, 5-4 decision, and by a split court, and ignoring all the subsequent decisions, which were either unanimous or very, very lopsided, reaching the same conclusion. And he never engages with the language of the Constitution. When he's talking to people like G and Ursula, as he did yesterday, he just talks about 5-4 decision, and these Supreme Court justices are all dead, so we need to overturn this. Overturning that line of Supreme Court cases and reimagining the meaning of the Constitution isn't just about a millionaire's tax. It is about opening the door to an income tax on anybody. And that is exactly what G and Ursula were pressing him on yesterday. So when the AG says, well, we were just giving legal advice, it doesn't really read that way. I mean, if they thought it was just legal advice, okay. But when I was in office and my predecessors were in office and we were asked by the legislature, keep in mind the legislature has a lot of its own lawyers and they don't need to come to the AG office, we would always point out to them when something they were about to do violated the Constitution.
All right. It sounds like Rob's going to try to make this argument that your income is your property. That should be
Crazy,
interesting to follow.
I know. Crazy idea, but it's what the voters wanted, Charlie. Not only did the voters put it in place because they wanted to expand property taxes to reach every form of intangible income, but also the voters have had 6 opportunities to amend the Constitution so that income would not be treated as property, and they've rejected all 6 of those constitutional amendments. And it's quite revealing that this legislature chose not to send a constitutional amendment to the ballot like all the previous legislatures did, and that they decided to write language in that would prevent this bill from being subject to a referendum. So they're trying to keep it away from the voters as much as they say, oh, you're going to get your say because there's going to be an initiative. You watch. They'll fight that initiative tooth and nail because they do not want the voters to have the final say here.
Our forecast, partly sunny for today, 72. A few more clouds tomorrow, 71. So we're still looking to be up around 80 for Sunday and Monday as well. Right now in Seattle, we have just a few clouds. It's 50. And coming up on Seattle's Morning News, KIRO Newsradio's Corwin Haig takes a look at the King County Health Department's meeting on gun violence yesterday. Also, Sully has a choke point looking at the next big bridge project for the city of Everett. He'll tell us all about it coming up at 6:15. Glad to have you with us. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
The first few steps that I took in the morning were pretty painful.
This is Carlos.
I mean, I had been told by multiple orthopedic surgeons that there was no alternative for me.
That wasn't what he wanted to hear. You see, Carlos is an active guy.
I played basketball, and for 3 to 4 days after, my knees would just be so swollen. And now I can play basketball, and there is no swelling. There is no pain in the knees.
No swelling, no pain, because Carlos went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm just happy to be able to be out there. And then knowing that tomorrow I am not going to suffer for this.
What do you say to your friends and family who are in pain?
I say, I had horrible knee pain and stem cells really worked for me. You might want to go to Dr. Wagner, just get a consultation before you have surgery.
Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
The G and Ursula Show.
There's 2 types of people. One's that use a washcloth. The other are bare hand bandits.
Hate to break it to you, but
Ursula, you a bare hand bandit?
Weekdays 9 to noon. Watch live on YouTube.
Looking for lumber with a story? Then you've got to check out the new Earthwise Salvage Lumber Warehouse in Soto. Be the first to get your hands on reclaimed lumber with original character and local history. Their warehouse is packed with new inventory now. But when this wood is gone, it's gone. So act fast. Come visit the Salvage Lumber Warehouse for the grand opening on May 2nd from 11 to 3 in Soto. And remember, this lumber is harvested from structures, not forests. Find them at ewsalvage.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco bill, and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Drivers are pulling up to the pump this morning to find gas prices at a new wartime high of an average $4.30 a gallon.
Looking at it now, I mean, that's actually insane. So, nothing I can really do about it, but it is pretty outrageous.
The price a full 27 cents higher than just a week ago. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Americans are absorbing another $80-$100 a month because of these higher prices.
The U.S. blockade of the Strait of Hormuz continues. Oil prices up too. They're above $126 a barrel. Jet fuel costs are upping the chances Spirit may come in for a permanent landing soon.
CBS News has learned talks about a government-backed rescue of the airline have stalled. Some of Spirit's creditors refuse to sign off on the deal. Spirit only has enough cash to continue operations for a few more days. CBS News travel editor Peter Greenberg says people with Spirit tickets should have a backup plan.
Buy a refundable ticket on a competing carrier on the same route. That way, if your Spirit flight goes okay, just refund the ticket. If your Spirit flight doesn't, you won't be worried about getting a seat home. You'll already have one.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The Commerce Department out with new numbers on the economy. It expanded at a modest pace of 2% in the first 3 months of the year as it recovered from the 43-day government shutdown. Core inflation hit 3.2% in March as prices rose 3.5%. And that's the biggest jump in almost 3 years. The House has approved a Senate-backed resolution to unlock funding for Homeland Security and ICE operations. Commandant Admiral Kevin Lunde warns the Coast Guard is running out of money to pay personnel. He tells CBS's Nicole Skanga.
Our crews are standing by to respond at a moment's notice to any mariner in distress or any threat to the nation. And they launch 24/7, 365, and suddenly the lights go out or they don't have water.
The Washington Post reports Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry is getting ready to suspend his May primaries to give lawmakers time to redraw congressional maps after the Supreme Court struck down the creation of a majority black congressional district.
The Supreme Court said it loud and clear that the current map is unconstitutional. What our options are, we're basically working our way through that, and I will be discussing those options with the Attorney General.
Lindsey Vonn just joined CBS Mornings with an update on her recovery after her disastrous crash just 13 seconds into her first event at the Winter Olympics.
Right now, my leg feels great. It's more that I just don't have energy or stamina. You know, I was in the hospital bed for 2.5 weeks.
This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
6:03 Thursday morning. Let's check in with Sully for traffic.
And we've got a traffic alert to start the day. Do not get on southbound I-5 coming down. If you're coming from Shoreline, stick with 99. Don't think about Lake City Way either. We have a crash right approaching Mercer that has basically blocked all but the center lane. This involves a motorcycle. The motorcycle is blocking the two right lanes, and whatever else they're dealing with is blocking the two left lanes a little bit behind it. So we already have a 5-mile backup and a 30-minute delay in growing. Linwood to Seattle's already 50 minutes, hour and 10 all the way from Everett. Again, 99's wide open, so if you can bail at Northgate, you can bail at 145th, come down, you're going to save yourself a ton of time. This one looks like it's going to stick around for a while. Looking at the rest of the map, we've got an Everett to Bellevue drive of about 40 minutes, so that's a good option as well at this point. Lake bridges are still fine. Olympia to Tacoma's 35 minutes, 40 from Federal Way to Seattle. 40 from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue's under 20. So everywhere else, we're okay. But southbound I-5, you want to stay away up from getting into downtown Seattle. This report brought to you by the Puyallup RV Show. Now through Sunday, shop hundreds of new and used RVs, manufactured homes, get show-only prices, also free parking. Tickets, PuyallupRVShow.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:04. The number of young people injured by guns has plummeted under a King County health program that emphasizes community intervention.
KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake is in for Luke this morning and has details.
And in the case of the city of Kent, the change is really dramatic. That's where program managers say youth-involved firearm injuries dropped 32% between 2023 and 2025. Eleuthera Lish is director of the County Office of Gun Violence Prevention.
Incidents involving firearm injuries involving young people have now dropped below pre-pandemic rates, and Kent has dropped even further below the pre-pandemic rates than the average across King County.
What's made the difference? Program directors credit a model called CVI, Community Violence Intervention. It involves extra patrols of gun violence hotspots, but also street outreach and what the program calls relentless engagement with at-risk youth. Kent Police Chief Rafael Padilla says somehow it's working.
It's difficult to measure what's been prevented, but I'm confident and I want to attest to this partnership is making real and meaningful difference in the safety of our young people in Kent.
The program notes similar declines in youth gun violence all across the county, but perhaps nothing as dramatic as the 6-month period from June to December 2025, when Padilla in Kent says his police force responded to 0 youth gun-related incidents. Charlie and Manda.
Corwin Hake reporting live. It's 6:06.
The Pierce County Sheriff's Office wants your help searching for 2 children missing in Edgewood. Investigators say 2 siblings, Angeline and Alexander, apparently left the 207 East Apartments last night on foot. They were last seen at 9:30. Angeline is 12, Alexander just 8. Both are Pacific Islanders with black hair and brown eyes. Police do not suspect foul play, but they do want you to call 911 if you think you see them. We have photos and additional information of both missing children on our website, mynorthwest.com.
Seattle Public Schools is banning cell phones in classrooms, and it's starting soon, Monday, in fact. Superintendent Ben Schuldner announced the new district-wide rules last night.
This district deserves a clear, cogent, concise cell phone policy that not everybody's going to love, but at least we think is going to really move the needle towards success.
For K through 8 students, phones must be off and put away the entire school day. For high schoolers, phones will be banned during class time, but allowed at lunch and during passing periods. School Board Vice President Evan Briggs says the full ban should also apply to high schools.
The evidence to support that is really actually overwhelming. The stricter the cell phone policy, the better the outcomes.
Schuldner says with most high schools having open campuses, a full ban would not be enforceable.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
Well, here we are, Thursday. What do we like calling it, Manda?
Friday Eve.
Friday
It's
Eve.
the last day of April.
Tomorrow's May Day.
Sometimes all you can do is chuckle, right?
Wait a second. We have Corwin filling in. He's, coming in from the reserves, and we've got him working on a May Day in Seattle.
Yeah.
Has he thought this through?
He has experience with it.
He sure does. Well, it's good to have you here with us. It's going to be a busy show today. Let's talk about the interview coming up at 8:15 with State Superintendent of Public Schools Chris Rakedall. He wants to respond to a recent commentary, so we'll have him. A bunch of stuff on the way. Sully, you have a choke point for us?
Yeah, I do. Guess what? They're going to be taking down and rebuilding another bridge in Everett. Now that they just finished up one, they're going to do another one. So we're going to tell you what it is and what that impact might look like.
All right. Luke Ducey has the day off, but he did leave us a tech talk for today. A deeper look at the earnings reports from some of the massive tech companies and how AI is factoring into all of it.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
It's 6:09. Congressman Adam Smith confronted the Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth in his first testimony on Capitol Hill since the Iran war began.
I looked through the Secretary's remarks, and I've heard you give speeches before about this, about how realism is our strategy. And I find that absurd, and given what we are doing.
He says the Iran military strategy is not grounded in reality, especially in light of the 2027 military budget proposal, which would boost defense spending to a historic $1.5 trillion.
A judge has temporarily blocked part of a new Washington law aimed at increasing oversight of county sheriffs. The ruling came after an emergency hearing in Thurston County yesterday, where several eastern Washington sheriffs sued, calling the law unconstitutional. The measure would allow a state commission to suspend or revoke a sheriff's certification over certain conduct or speech. The judge ordered a temporary halt to parts of the law just one day before it was set to take effect.
A member of Washington's congressional delegation is trying to get some tax relief for police officers.
Democratic U.S. Representative Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez says she attended a function for police officers last year.
Who were telling me about their buddies whose families were on food stamps. That was enraging to me.
She and Pennsylvania Republican Brian Fitzpatrick are co-sponsoring the Fuel the Force Act. Active duty police officers with at least 5 years of service would not be taxed on the first $100,000 they make each year. Critics say it would be unfair to other first responders who wouldn't get that tax break. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
We're getting new information about a kidnapping attempt in West Seattle where an 8-year-old girl was targeted. KIRO 7's Jack Bilyeu reports attempted kidnapping charges have now been filed against 22-year-old Christiane Boogie Markham.
Know your people that are around you. Know their kids. Know them by first name. Have the phone numbers and look out for each other.
The victim's father spoke to KIRO 7 on the condition that he not be identified. He recounted the terrifying ordeal and says the tight-knit neighborhood helped police find the attempted kidnapper and bring him to justice.
Boogie Markham has no criminal history. He's due back in court Monday.
A King County couple is accused of stealing more than $2.5 million from a dead man. The Seattle Times reports Ronald and Melissa Wisner forged the will of a 73-year-old Boeing engineer who died by suicide in Issaquah last April. The man lived alone and had no immediate family. Prosecutors say Ronald Wisner claimed they were dear friends. There's no evidence they even knew each other. He faces 22 charges. Arrest warrants are out for both of them. The couple's believed to have fled to New Mexico.
The Lake Stevens man who created one of the most popular action figures of the 80s has died.
And the masters of the universe. I am Adam, Prince of Eternia and defender of the...
I have the power. Roger Sweet was a toy designer at Mattel who came up with a muscle-bound action figure back in the early 80s. The Daily Herald of Everett reports he was 91. His creation became the centerpiece of the Masters of the Universe franchise, which also included Skeletor and He-Man's sister She-Ra. Sweet, he created those characters, too. Yeah. He left Mattel in 1991, later wrote a memoir accusing companies' executives of trying to take credit for his ideas.
I wanted to be She-Ra.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick is standing by, but we have to tell you the Mariners capped off their road trip with a ninth-inning comeback win over the Minnesota Twins. They went 5-1 on this road trip.
All right.
That'll
off do.
Today, they'll be back in action at home tomorrow.
Okay. 6:12 now. Nick Allard, KIRO 7 pinpoint meteorologist. Nick, we have some warm weather on the way.
Man, do we ever. Yeah, this morning what you're looking at is a beautiful start to the day, and then you're going to find some increasing high clouds. You're already seeing it. We definitely have some already, but that's not a big deal. Just means some high clouds for a good part of the day that then will lift later. So I'd say between sort of mid-morning through about 4 or 5 p.m., there will be a fair amount of high cloud cover, those like nice thin wispy clouds. I just get to say that. And then after that, we see some clearing tonight temporarily. Temperatures are going to be mild. We'll be in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s around Everett to Seattle, about mid 70s in Olympia, Tacoma, probably about 75, 77. It looks great. And then tomorrow, though, we do have just a lot of clouds. It just looks like a mostly cloudy day. I don't really see much change tomorrow. It should be dry as this front coming through really is just a dry, cold front. It will be around 70. And then Saturday, clouds early. And then sunshine at 71, 72, and I have you at 79 right now for Sunday
80.
and for Monday.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, exactly. And then about 70 or so for Tuesday and Wednesday. But it's nice when the cool days are about 70 and the hot days are right around 80 degrees, which just sounds awesome.
That's a nice range. Right now in Seattle, clear skies and 50.
It's 6:13. Time for traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. We have a big old problem right in the middle of the city. Sully?
Yeah, we do. Do not get on southbound I-5 trying to get into Seattle. I know that's a tough ask, but you will save yourself a ton of time. If you bail at 145th and come down 99, you'll probably save yourself about 40 or 45 minutes. We're getting close to an hour and a half to go from Everett into Seattle because only one lane of the freeway is open, approaching Mercer. This is a crash involving a motorcycle and several different cars. What's left of the motorcycles in the two right lanes of the freeway. The other cars involved are on the left-hand side of the freeway. Just spoke with State Patrol. The motorcycle rider is alive, but at Harborview, and we don't have any updated condition as of yet. So this is going to take a very long time to clear out. 7-mile backup already. So trust me. Don't do it. If you're coming down from Snohomish County, bail and go to 405 right now and then come back via I-90, because if you come back via 520, you're going to drive right back into that backup anyway. So big-time problems coming out of the north end. It's already 50 minutes from Everett to Bellevue as people are bailing already. Rest of the map, average. Got a Federal Way to Seattle drive of about 42 minutes. Not quite 45 from Puyallup to Renton. Little slowing on 410 trying to get through Sumner, but that's just volume. Renton to Bellevue, no problems for you guys. Under 20 minutes there. This report brought to you by Carpet Liquidators. Get your entire home installed for just $99 at Carpet Liquidators. From carpet to flooring, Carpet Liquidators has you covered. I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Solomon.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Well, it's 6:15, and Sully is here with a new choke point. The Edgewater Bridge connecting Everett and Mukilteo opened to cars this week. But even as the finishing touches on that project are completed, engineers are looking ahead to the next project.
All right, Sully, where are we going next?
Well, the Edgewater Bridge is just the second of a 3-bridge replacement plan for Mukilteo Boulevard, connecting Everett and Mukilteo. The city of Everett replaced the Maple Heights Bridge near Harborview Park in 2020. Old, vulnerable to earthquakes, spanned a deep ravine. Edgewater Bridge, same shape. Now it's replaced. Up next, the Merrill and Ring Bridge, just about a mile to the east. It's 95 years old, and if you're watching on our YouTube live video, I went up there yesterday, walked across the bridge, took a look at the aging structure there. It's over a 100-foot ravine. It's only 376 feet long, but it is vital to connecting Everett and Mukilteo. Here's Everett City Engineer Tom Hood.
Edgewater is the second project, and so Merrill and Ring will be the third and final bridge along the Mukilteo corridor, and then we'll have kind of our forever infrastructure in place for the next 100 years.
This bridge project still in its very beginning stages. It's still in design.
We're only partially funded for construction right now. So we continue through the design process, which will probably take us into 2028, I would imagine.
But that schedule could slip depending on a few key factors.
We have some property acquisitions that we need, which tend to take a long time to negotiate. Assuming the funding comes through, we could begin construction maybe in 2029.
Or potentially 2030. If you look at the videos, I continue to walk west across the bridge, hoping very carefully not to drop my phone as I dangled it over the edge to look down the ravine. Again, this is one of these old bridges. This one was built 1931, redone in the 80s to add another lane into it, but definitely needs the work. I talked with Everett Principal Transportation Engineer Dan Enrico about this, and he says the city's learned a lot over the first 2 bridge projects, which should help them in this final replacement and make it go smoothly.
We have literally dozens of lessons learned on Edgewater that will help us on Merrill and Ring, from closures to geotechnical exploration to phasing of the project and communications.
Hopefully workers won't find a buried structure under this bridge. Let's not forget an unexpected structure in the dirt helped delay the Edgewater Bridge project. Speaking of Edgewater, contractors still need to complete the new sidewalks there. They won't be done for a few more weeks, and Hood is asking neighborhood walkers to stay off that bridge until the work is finished.
We certainly don't want pedestrians on the bridge. It will not be a safe condition. yes, this is still an active work zone and it's not yet ready for pedestrians.
Bike lanes aren't quite finished there either, but riders can share the road with cars safely. And as we wrap up here on the Maryland Ring, you can see, again, relatively well used, even in the middle of the day, over a long ravine. Doesn't have much sidewalk access. Oh, and as we look over the south side, goes down a little bit there too.
A little bit.
Didn't lose my phone on that either. But yeah, again, a seismically vulnerable bridge, the third of 3 that they are replacing. And again, that's going to come up here in the next couple of years. So people will get used to having a nice clean drive between Everett and Everett and Mukilteo, just to have it taken away again as they take care of this bridge.
Got to take care of it.
Yeah, I mean, 1931, one of the older of the 3 that they're taking care of. So it needs to be done.
Okay, we'll check that out on mynorthwest.com.
All really good information, but my first thought watching your video is, my gosh, we live in a beautiful place.
Yeah, you like that, Joe? What a beautiful day. Got a nice little shot of the bay out of Mukilteo to Everett. Yeah, it was
gorgeous.
I'm not going to lie and say I didn't edit that video at the park there overlooking everything, but I did. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, you are standing by. We do have that traffic alert on I-5, and we'll have that coming up in about 3 minutes.
There was a close call between a United Airlines jet and a drone just before touchdown in San Diego. The situation, according to the FAA, is extremely rare. Here's CBS News senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
Flight 1980, flying from San Francisco to San Diego, was on approach to land at Lindbergh Field, flying around 4,000 feet, when pilots reported what appeared to be a small, bright red drone flying nearby.
I believe I just saw like a red small object, like about 1,000 feet below us to our right.
There were initial reports about a potential collision, but it now appears the suspected drone likely passed below the plane.
6:20 now. A couple of friends enjoying a day on the water off the Southern California coast last weekend got the attention of a large shark. News Nation's Lindsay Pena has a story of what would become a tense encounter.
Oh my God, it's coming for you! A close encounter with what appears to be a massive shark caught on camera.
I wanted it to be a dolphin. I honestly didn't think it was a dolphin, but I wanted it to be one. And I asked Tavis, I yelled, Tavis, is this a dolphin?
Ron Takeda and Tavis Boise were foiling, a unique type of surfing that allows you to ride above the waves off the coast near Santa Barbara last Saturday when they captured this video. Takeda says they've seen sharks before, but this one followed him for at least 5 minutes.
Lots of people see the shark, but that's it, a glimpse and it's over. This one just kept relentlessly chasing hard, and that's really what's so unique about this encounter.
Takeda tells us he didn't really have time to be scared. He was just focused on staying ahead of what was chasing him.
I had a little bit more of an emotional reaction watching it because it's definitely not a dolphin and you're watching it chase your friend, and it's very clearly interested in him.
Luckily, the shark lost interest and both men made it safely back to shore. Their encounter just one of several shark sightings up and down the California coast in the past week. Earlier today in Sunset Beach, lifeguards spotted a 9 to 10 foot great white feeding on a sea lion not far from shore, prompting a water closure for at least 48 hours of the surrounding area. And last weekend, another shark was seen near the Huntington Beach Pier, which postponed a major surf competition.
We can encounter them all we want, but really, again, it's their ocean and we're just small primates.
Now, despite the recent activity, experts note that shark bites off the coast of Southern California are rare. Only a few dozen confirmed incidents reported over the last several decades. And after all, the last thing they want to do is shut down a beach over the Memorial Day weekend.
Right?
Wow. Well played, Charlie. Well played.
Little Jaws reference.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well done.
It's 6:23 now. Sully, we laugh, but also we've got issues on the roads.
Yeah, we have issues on the road, and we have a motorcyclist trying to hang on after a crash this morning on southbound I-5 right as you approach Mercer. Several cars and a motorcycle got tangled up. The rider at Harborview. We have a 7-mile backup already because of this, and only one lane of the freeway is open. So what happens is the cars are on the left-hand side of the road. What's left of the motorcycle is on the right side of the road. So as you're coming down I-5, you have to merge all the way over to the right, and then you immediately have to merge right back over to the left So that one little tiny channel is getting through. It's already an hour and 20 minutes from Everett to Seattle, an hour alone from Linwood. So 40 minutes behind schedule and growing. The backup starts right around 1:30th. So if you can bail at 145th and come down 99 right now before that window closes, you will save yourself a massive headache. A lot of people are already heading to 405 because the reader board approaching 164th in Mill Creek is saying accident into downtown Seattle, and the word's out. And we're already up to 50 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, so that corridor is slowly closing as well. Rest of the map, about average. Our friend Mark just sent me a picture heading up the hill out of Nisqually to DuPont. Little sun glare to deal with there on that drive, so be prepared for that. About 40 minutes to Tacoma. Federal Way to Seattle, about 40 to 45. We have 45 up the Valley Freeway. Renton to Bellevue is 20. The lake bridges are fine. However, I would greatly suggest you go to I-90, because if you take westbound 520, you're just going to drive right into where the freeway is basically blocked on I-5, so you don't want any part of that. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Was it painfully obvious that I didn't get the Jaws reference?
Really? Maybe.
Okay.
That's why I had to kind of mutter. It's the
Okay.
Jaws reference, Manda.
Yeah, you would have made a heck of a mayor.
Jog my memory. All right.
But you still could be.
Partly sunny, 72 for today. Gorgeous weather. For tomorrow, a few more clouds. Will be partly cloudy on Saturday, 72, and then here comes the heat. 79s for Sunday and Monday as well. Right now, it is 50 in Seattle.
Coming up, we have a missing 12 and 8-year-old in Pierce County. We're getting new details on this. Corwin Hake will have that for us. We'll also have the opening bell report. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Remember when you used to wake up ready to take on the world? Well, lately, not so much. The brain fog, the exhaustion, that feeling like you're just not you anymore. Well, it's not your imagination, and you don't have to keep pushing through it. At Juvacor Health and Wellness Center, hormone replacement therapy starts with something you won't find online. A real conversation, face-to-face, with a female provider who genuinely gets it. Led by Dr. Lucy Hostetter, a board-certified physician. Her team has spent the last 7 years specializing in one thing, and that is helping women feel like themselves again. This is their focus. It's what they do. Your care is driven by labs, by listening, and by a personalized treatment plan that's dialed into your body and into your life. And they follow up, too, because this kind of care has to be personal. With convenient locations in Tacoma and Bellevue, Dr. Hostetter's practice has expanded from the flagship location, Seattle Regenerative Medicine Center in Bellevue, to Tacoma. You deserve a provider who makes the uncomfortable conversations comfortable. Reach out today at juvacorhealth.com. That's Juve corehealth.com, and feel like yourself again.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
Hey, I want to tell you a sellwithwes.com success story. Wes Jones knows how important your home sale can be for your future plans. So when he got a call from Susan in Federal Way, he was eager to step up and help her sell her home of 25 years.
Her house was
was her biggest asset. And this home sale was super meaningful for her. So she's like, I know that I'm leaving money on the table in the condition that it's in. Like, what can we do?
I told him up front that I did not have the time or finances to do what needed to be done. And he immediately jumped in with, well, I do.
He told her about their Listing Boost concierge service.
We identified probably 4 or 5 major things.
It just was all so fast. They did everything.
I'm a son of a builder, and I've done a lot of flips over the years. So this is work that we actually like to do. We are seeking this out.
And I would just tell anybody, here's his phone number, give him a call. He'll take care of it.
So if you're in the market to sell your home, do what Susan did. Check out Wes Jones and his team at sellwithwes.com. Sell with Wes, a better way to sell your home.
When was the last time someone reviewed your tax return looking for opportunity, not just accuracy? For most people, a tax return is something you file and forget. But what if it's actually a snapshot of decisions made, opportunities missed, and strategies waiting to be uncovered? At Madrona Financial and CPAs, your return isn't just paperwork, it's a roadmap. Brian Evans, CEO and host of Growing Your Wealth, is hosting a live workshop called Your Tax Return Treasure Hunt. In this interactive seminar, he'll walk you through the major schedules of your return, helping you identify missed planning opportunities and disconnects between your tax return and your long-term financial goals. Because your return already tells a story. To reserve your seat, visit madronafinancial.com or call 833-673-7373. And be sure to listen to Growing Your Wealth Saturdays at 9 a.m.
This is a paid advertisement. Investments involve risk. See full disclosures at madronafinancial.com.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from Eastlake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 6:31. 2 kids are missing in Pierce County this morning, and while police do not suspect foul play, they say there are reasons to be concerned.
Let's check in live with KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake.
These kids are brother and sister, 12-year-old Angeline and 8-year-old Alexander. The Pierce County Sheriff's Office says the two left the 207 East Apartments on foot around 9:30 last night. Sheriff spokesperson Lori Capetto says the big sister is known to wander off, but the brother, well, that's a new wrinkle.
We definitely are concerned. This is not unusual for the daughter. However, never has the sibling been taken or gone with her. So I think that's where our concern comes from.
That's Carly Capetto from Pierce County Sheriff's Office. That's why the Sheriff's Office is asking for your help. Both are Pacific Islanders with black hair and brown eyes. Angeline is 4 feet tall, 130 pounds. Alexander, 3'6", 115. Again, they were last seen in Edgewood late last night. You can see photos of the missing kids on our website at mynorthwest.com. Charlie and Amanda?
Okay, keep us updated, Corwin. It's 6:32.
The Seattle Kraken are expanding their footprint on and off the ice. The team in the city of Kirkland broke ground yesterday on a new 2-rink Kraken Iceplex and Community Center set to open the fall of next year. The facility will feature youth hockey, skating programs, and year-round community activities without raising local taxes. Construction officially begins next month.
Everett City Council approves more money for a new stadium to host the Everett Aqua Sox. KIRO 7's Jake Chapman reports supporters say it's needed to meet minor league baseball standards.
The city says the new location will not only keep the team in town, but bring in even more growth to the city. Yeah. City Council passed an additional $10.6 million to be spent spent on the $120 million project. That money is coming from what the city calls an interfund, which is part of the city's general fund.
Council voted 6-1 in favor of putting the money toward the new Everett Outdoor Event Center.
It's now 6:33. Time for a check on traffic. How bad is it, Sully?
It is super bad. We are bumper to bumper for about 7.5 miles now on southbound I-5 trying to get into Seattle. Backup begins right at 145th, and this isn't just because of the Revive I-5 work. This is because the freeway is basically shut down at Mercer. Only the center lane is getting by. We have a crash involving a motorcycle, a couple of different cars. The cars are on the left 2 lanes. What's left of the motorcycle is in the right 2 lanes, and you're getting by through the middle. Right now, my best guesstimate is about 1 hour and 40 from Everett to Seattle, with 1 hour and 20 from Linwood. So about 40 to 45, 50 minutes behind schedule. If you can bail at 145th to come down 99, you will save some time. There is some braking right around 85th, but the rest of the way on down on 99 is not bad. A lot of people have already bailed and gone to 405 because the reader boards up there are telling everybody to avoid I-5. And so we're running at 50 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, which, again, a vast improvement and much faster than the rest of it. So big delays coming down out of the north end. Now, if you're thinking about using 520, don't. You'll pay the toll and then just be sitting in the backup trying to tie into 405 or I-5 because that's right where the crash is. I-90 is wide open and a better option. Northbound I-5, Federal Way to Seattle, running about 45 minutes. 45 up the Valley Freeway as well. A little slowing down the South Hill, a little bit westbound on 410 through Sumner. Rented to Bellevue, about 22 minutes to start the day. This report brought to you by KIRO News Radio's app. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows. Get the latest news and updates sent right to your phone.
Nice streak of weather in front of us today. We'll have mostly sunny skies, 72, 71 the forecast high tomorrow, 72 on Saturday, sunny and pushing 80 on Sunday, 50 right now downtown.
And it's 6:35. Time for our opening bell report. It's official. The state has never seen gas prices this high before. Latest numbers from AAA show a new record for regular unleaded this morning, topping out at $5.57 a gallon in Washington. Prices are 20 cents higher here in the Puget Sound area, $5.77 this morning, also a new all-time high. Only Hawaii and California are higher. It's $6.01 a gallon in California now.
Try not to weep when you hear the national numbers here. The price of crude oil has spiked. Here's CBS's Michael Toscano.
Benchmark Brent crude oil was topping $125 a barrel, with world oil supplies tightening up and no end to the standoff in the Strait of Hormuz in sight. That gets you today's national average price of a gallon of regular gas hitting $4.30, according to AAA.
That's actually insane.
That's Teddy at Madison Heights, Michigan, looking at almost $90 on the gas pump.
Nothing I can really do about it, but it is pretty outrageous.
$4.58 in Michigan today, says AAA. Michael Toscano, CBS News.
Insane.
Yes, indeed.
Microsoft beat Wall Street expectations, posting a strong fiscal third quarter. Revenue rose 18% to nearly $83 billion, with its cloud business surging 40%. CEO Satya Nadella calls this a defining moment for the industry.
We are at the beginning of one of the most consequential platform shifts that will change the entire tech stack as agents proliferate and become the dominant workload.
He says AI is now a $37 billion a year business for Microsoft and a major driver of growth. The company reported spending nearly $32 billion this quarter to build up its AI infrastructure.
Amazon beat Wall Street expectations across the board, reporting first quarter revenue of more than $181 billion. That's up 17% from a year ago. Amazon Web Services was the biggest driver, growing 28% year over year. CEO Andy Jassy says AI demand is fueling the surge.
It's very unusual for a business to grow this fast on a base this large. We've never seen a technology grow as rapidly as AI.
Amazon plans to spend about $200 billion this year on new investments tied mainly to AI.
Ford posted a stronger than expected first quarter profit.
Ford's $2.5 billion profit was helped by a $1.3 billion tariff refund. But Chief Financial Officer Sherry House says they also had a strong product mix and kept the line on costs.
Our team is aggressively managing a complex external environment.
Ford is making money on commercial and gasoline-powered vehicles, and they cut their losses on electric vehicles. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
The Federal Reserve will keep interest rates steady for the third straight month. News Nation's Alicia Neves reports from Wall Street.
The Fed basically did what Wall Street was expecting, not necessarily what Main Street wanted, which was a rate cut to kind of offset all the pricing pressures that it has been dealing with. But Fed Chair Powell was talking about some of the justification for not cutting interest rates right now. And a big part of that was what we're seeing with energy markets as a result of this war and all the uncertainty that it has caused.
Jerome Powell explained more on this to reporters in what is his last press conference as chair.
I worry that these attacks are battering the institution and putting at risk the thing that really matters to the public, which is the ability to conduct monetary policy without taking into consideration political factors.
Powell also confirmed he will remain as a Fed governor until his board term ends in 2028.
Almost 10 years after it faded to black, there is talk of bringing back a popular reality TV series.
Donald Trump back as host of The Apprentice. The Wall Street Journal is reporting Amazon is considering a potential reboot of the reality TV show starring the president's son, Don Jr. The Journal says discussions are in the early stages and Amazon hasn't actually approached the Trump family yet. If it does get made, it would appear on Prime and could have President Trump's eldest child echoing his famous phrase,
"You're fired."
Amazon paid $40 million to license the First Lady's documentary, Melania. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Checking Wall Street now. Oops, those are the futures. Let me update real quick. I know that stocks are rising because oil has retreated just a little bit. The Dow is up 313 right now at 49,175. S&P 500 up 9, and the NASDAQ is up about 11 points.
Well, if you hadn't stock prices from the future, you could really help our listeners make some solid financial buys.
That would be cheating.
Oh, okay. Word here for KIRO 7. It starts on your street, in your home, with a problem you're struggling to solve. That's where KIRO 7 Investigates comes in. They will show up, ask hard questions to get you answers. When your story is seen, change isn't just possible, it's already happening. Watch KIRO 7 News weeknights 5 to 6:30 p.m. and at KIRO7.com/investigates.
Big mess on the road, Sully.
Yep, we're calling for everybody to avoid southbound I-5 if you can into Seattle. 7-mile backup. We'll break it down for you next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah. Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
This is Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland. Having trouble with the government agency? Tired of dealing with red tape? I'll help you get the benefits you've earned. My office is here to help you with Social Security, Medicare, the VA, passports, and more. We've recovered millions of dollars for taxpayers and stand ready to help you. Call me at 360-459-8514 or visit strickland.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
It's 6:43 and a tough morning through Seattle. Here's Chris Sullivan.
Yeah, it's usually pretty rough at this time of day as well because of the lane restrictions and the loss of the express lanes. But we have a pretty significant crash. This one involves a motorcycle, a couple of different cars. Only one lane of southbound I-5 is open as you approach Mercer. Only the center lane is open. The two left lanes and the two right lanes are blocked. We have a 7.5-mile backup behind this, and we are looking at about an hour and 40-minute trip from Everett to Seattle, an hour and 20 alone just from Linwood into Seattle. So 30-minute delays there minimum. And so just massive delays coming down out of the north end. If you can bail at 145th and come down 99, you might save yourself some time. It is definitely filling in through the Greenwood neighborhood, getting down towards Green Lake before it frees up. The word is out, and so people are going to 405, but it's not terrible as an option. We have about a 40-minute trip from Linwood and an hour all the way from Everett down into Bellevue. So if you can avoid I-5, do it. Looking at northbound I-5, we have Federal Way to Seattle of about 45 minutes, 45 to 50 now up the Puyallup to Renton Drive. There are brake lights there, right there at Sumner, right there in Auburn, and at the north end. And then Renton to Bellevue is about 25 minutes. Also have a brand new crash to tell you about. This one's in South Tacoma, right around 56th that just popped up. So plan on a couple of minutes lost there. 45 minutes already from Olympia to Tacoma. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, we're into a really nice stretch of weather. 72 for today, partly sunny. We'll see a little bit more in the way of cloud cover by tomorrow afternoon, but rebounding on Saturday, 72. Sunday, it's going to be warm, toasty, 79. Same deal on Monday with lots of sunshine. Right now in Seattle, the sun's coming up. It's 49.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with this week's Tech Talk, a deeper look at yesterday's earnings reports from several tech companies and how AI is factoring into all of it. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Owie, wowie.
What's with the
water heater's worn out?
Way less hot water?
Takes a lot longer, too.
Sounds like a goner.
Worst of all,
what?
Wasn't planning on it.
We can help.
Apollo Plumbing.
Ready right now to get you
in hot water.
Same day.
Not this day. My budget.
How about with easy payments?
How much easy?
Around $50 a month with approved credit.
A new water heater?
50 gallons of 100% hot water delight.
For about $50 a month.
51, 52 to be precise.
And you can do it
today, if that's what you need.
Is it ever?
Apollo installs new ones with code upgrades.
Can't beat that.
Actually, I can.
What?
Your same-day water heater replacement includes Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which means?
Apollo Plumbing covers your new water heater for life.
You mean should it ever wear out?
Apollo Plumbing replaces it free.
And if it needs service?
Service is included for our A-list members.
Wow!
Your new water heater is ready
right now
at ApolloPlumbing.com.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Let Olympic help you create the ultimate home contrast therapy studio. Pair a relaxing Tilo sauna with our revitalizing Vigor cold plunge. Save up to $5,000 when you buy both. These massive savings end April 30th.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO Newsradio.
6:48 now in today's Tech Talk. After yesterday's closing bell, Wall Street turned its focus to big tech as Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, and Alphabet released their quarterly earnings.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports it wasn't just about the numbers. It was also about getting a clear read on whether artificial intelligence is delivering results.
As Seattle Times reporter Alex Halverson puts it, Wednesday's earning reports turned into a showdown between Wall Street and big tech.
Wall Street is getting a little impatient and wants to see some ROI, and the companies are pretty firm in maintaining that this is a long-term, investment or bet or, however you want to characterize it.
In other words, Wall Street analysts want Microsoft, AWS, and Google to reveal their total cloud revenue growth because they want to know if they're making cold, hard cash or not after betting big on AI and pouring truckloads of money into data centers and hardware like microchips, better known in the tech and financial world as CapEx. CapEx stands for capital expenditures. Just this year, Amazon is projecting spending around $200 billion in CapEx. Alphabet, owner of Google, plans a record $185 billion, and Microsoft is on pace to top $100 billion in AI-related CapEx. Randy Williams-Gurian, a senior wealth advisor with Hightower Bellevue, tells me, while that's a lot of spending, tech companies are still figuring out where to get the most bang for those CapEx bucks. Like they're still throwing their AI spaghetti against the wall to see what sticks.
But I think the growth is going to be there, but I think the monetization is going to be a little more slow to materialize. And then it's a question of whether investors are going to be patient enough to see that play out.
The problem is a lot of folks on Wall Street or investors want to see that monetization right now. And as Halverson says, they don't like it when these companies spend, and show less than projected revenue growth and none of the spaghetti sticking.
Analysts they're not stoked when Microsoft or Amazon or Google or any of these companies come in and say, hey, we know we told you we were going to spend this much. It's actually going to be a bit more.
So that is part of the reason big tech made all those layoffs. Amazon laying off tens of thousands of workers in the beginning of the year. Microsoft just announced an early retirement buyout program right before their earnings call. Here's Williams-Gurian.
And so they have that leverage, and that's what they'll go back and do to kind of offset.
And that leaves investors split into two camps. Either you back the billions being poured into CapEx to build the future of AI, or demand immediate returns driven by cloud revenue growth.
It's like a interesting little dance, I think, between Wall Street and these companies.
The issue is, while big tech is boiling the spaghetti and throwing as much of it against the wall as they can, as fast as they can, Wall Street likes their spaghetti al dente and ready to eat right now. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Stop. I love that. I like mine al dente too.
Wall Street, as Luke was indicating, is reacting in a mixed way. Amazon right now, its stock is down 0.8%. Microsoft is down 3.9%.
Spirit Airlines may be coming in for a permanent landing.
CBS News has learned talks about a government-backed rescue of the airline have stalled. Some of Spirit's creditors refused to sign off on the deal. Spirit only has enough cash to continue operations for a few more days. CBS News travel editor Peter Greenberg says people with Spirit tickets should have a backup plan.
Buy a refundable ticket on a competing carrier on the same route. That way, if your Spirit flight goes okay, just refund the ticket. If your Spirit flight doesn't, you won't be worried about getting a seat home. You'll already have one.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Yes, because it's just so easy to buy an extra plane ticket.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Taylor Swift just sealed her fate as a billion-dollar artist, and she's made sure others get their due, too. Here's CBS's Deborah Rodriguez.
A non-negotiable clause in Swift's 2018 contract with Universal Music stated that if the company sold any Spotify shares, its artists would be compensated. That clause is set to take effect as UMG prepares to sell about half of its stake in Spotify. pop star pulled her catalog from the streaming service in 2014 over low payouts, but returned it 2 years later. Last week, Spotify named her the most globally streamed artist of all time. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Uber is expanding its travel brand to include booking hotels.
Uber says the hotel booking is a big step toward its goal of becoming an everything app that serves a plethora of needs for customers. Later this year, the company says it will add more than 1 million vacation rentals from Vrbo, which is owned by Expedia. The company says with customers trying to use multiple apps and deal with AI, its goal is to bring everything into one app and save users time and money. Uber One members will get a 20% discount on 10,000 hotels. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Well, if there were ever a day you would want to have the, express lanes open in the southbound direction, maybe have a renegade WashDOT employee go help out drivers, this would be the day. Sully, you are here with a traffic alert.
Yeah, really be helpful to have a couple extra lanes, but that's just not going to happen. Southbound I-5 is a no-go for those of you trying to come from Linwood down into Seattle. Only one lane of the freeway is open at Mercer. This is a crash involving a couple of different cars and a motorcycle. The cars are in the 2 left lanes. The motorcycle is in the 2 right lanes. And so only the center is squeezing by, and we have about an hour and 40-minute trip from Everett to Seattle, with an hour and 20 of that just from Linwood. So we're about 35 to 40 minutes behind schedule coming into the downtown core. 99 southbound is definitely filling in now from about from 85th on down past Green Lake, and then after that it's not too bad, but that's really your only other option. You could take 405. If you're far enough north and you have a chance to go to 405, you can do that. It's running relatively normal with about an hour from Everett to Bellevue, and of course
it's a reminder that yes, it doesn't get there very often, and only when it really has to.
We've hit $15 in that express toll lane, so you're not really going to save that much time coming down out of that corridor, but by the time you're at 522, it's going to be a much better drive all the way down into Bellevue. I would recommend getting using I-90 to get back into downtown Seattle. Northbound I-5 in the South Tacoma area, right at 56th. Right lane is blocked, backing up to 512. You need 45 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma. That's plus 10 to 15. Better way to Seattle, about 48 minutes. 45 from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue, not quite a half an hour. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Randy Johnson number retirement ceremony night presented by T-Mobile, Saturday, May 2nd. Get your tickets, Mariners.com.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend for baseball. 72 today with partly sunny skies. It's 49 right now.
Coming up, CBS News with world and national headlines. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Don't wait. Insulate. Last year, American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $2 million in insulation rebates from PSE, more than any provider in the state. If your home was built before 1990, you're eligible for recouping up to 95% of insulation replacement costs. Insulate with American Crawl Space and keep your home warm during the winter and cool during the summer.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical,
there's no beating CM Heating.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber, connects to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Spring is a season homeowners start improving their homes. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. If your home needs roofing, siding, new windows, gutters, or decking, our team can take care of it all. For a limited time, save up to $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows project. Planning multiple upgrades? Combine your projects and save even more. Or with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. You can start your project now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Our local tax expert and advocate Greg Nunn understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez, the teacher from Southern California, accused of an assassination attempt on the president at Saturday's Correspondents' Dinner, is due in court in Washington, D.C. next hour. CBS's Katrina Kaufman has the specifics.
This is supposed to be a detention hearing over whether or not they can continue to detain Cole Allen. What the government's arguing is that he is a danger to the community and, specifically a danger to President Trump and other Trump administration officials that they say were targets of his alleged attack.
A selfie released yesterday shows Allen in a black dress shirt and red tie with a shoulder holster for a pistol, knives, ammo, and pliers. Fuel prices have taken off.
Benchmark Brent crude oil was topping $125 a barrel, with world oil supplies tightening up and no end to the standoff in the Strait of Hormuz in sight. That gets you today's national average price of a gallon of regular gas hitting $4.30, according to AAA.
That's actually insane.
That's Teddy at Madison Heights, Michigan, looking at almost $90 on the gas pump.
Nothing I can really do about it, but it is pretty outrageous.
$4.58 in Michigan today, says AAA. Michael Toscano, CBS News.
Those aren't the only things going up. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger takes a look at new numbers from the Commerce Department.
Without food and energy included, prices were also higher overall by 3.2%. And over the last 6 months, we are seeing that prices have really started to take hold, probably due to the tariffs.
The economy grew 2% in the first quarter, getting the credit businesses that invested heavily in AI. Those soaring fuel prices could be the final nail in the coffin for a budget airline. Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve from Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport.
Without further intervention, sources tell us Spirit's available cash on hand is now measured in days, not weeks. And if that money runs out, the airline would likely have to cease operations. For now, Spirit is running normally as negotiations continue around a $500 million government bailout.
Hospital officials have been put on notice about the food they feed their patients. CBS's Jim Krasula.
The Trump administration is urging people to report hospitals and nursing homes that serve sugary drinks, nutrition shakes, or meals that it says don't meet dietary guidelines established last year by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Officials are vowing to withhold millions of dollars in federal funding if there are violations.
King Charles and Queen Camilla wrap up their 4-day trip to the U.S. with a tribute to fallen American service members at Arlington National Cemetery. They'll also do some sightseeing at Shenandoah National Park. This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
7:03 now. We start off with a traffic alert with Chris Sullivan.
And things have not improved at all on southbound I-5. 7-mile backup. And most people are probably driving into this who are unaware, thinking, oh, this is just the normal stuff. But it's compounded because we have a crash right at Mercer that basically has blocked the entire freeway. Only the center lane is squeezing by. This is a couple of cars and a motorcycle got caught up this morning. The motorcycle came to rest in the 2 right lanes. The cars are in the 2 left lanes. So as you come down toward the Ship Canal Bridge, you're going to have to jog all the way over to the right and then immediately jog all the way back over to the left. And we have about an hour and 40-minute trip from Everett to Seattle. 99 southbound has filled in very significantly, getting through Green Lake and then down through Fremont past the zoo. So that option is closing. Lake City Way won't help you either. Southbound 405 has taken a lot of the volume, and so it's up to an hour from Everett to Bellevue. It looks like a relatively normal day for you guys. Renton to Bellevue, about 28 minutes. The Valley Freeway, 45. Federal Way to Seattle's only about 45 to 50 at this point, and we do have a crash on northbound I-5 at 56th in South Tacoma that is really causing some trouble. Give yourself about 45 to 50 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma. That's plus 15. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04, and there is great news out of Pierce County after 2 missing siblings who walked away from their Edgewood apartment complex last night have been found safe.
Yep, detectives just posted the update a few minutes ago and passed along a big thank you to neighbors and community members who helped with the search, but again, they are safe.
7:05 now. It's a dramatic shift from the pandemic era when it comes to gun violence among local youth.
Public health data shows youth-involved firearm injuries are down sharply all across King County, and we get more live from KIRO News Radio's Corwin Haig.
This decline in youth gun violence is evident countywide and especially in the city of Kent, where such incidents are down 32% between 2023 and 2025. Kent Police Chief Rafael Padilla credits a community violence intervention program for, among other things, noting when opportunities for violence may be coming up. For example, at memorial vigils for someone who has already fallen victim to gun violence.
We calendar community events in which community passageways may have an opportunity to engage and disrupt, prevent potential violence, and just be a part of the community.
It's what program directors call street outreach and a level of engagement with at-risk youth, which they call relentless. In one case, the efforts in Kent yielded an anomaly: 6 months with no kids harmed by gun violence. A small sample size, Padilla says, but it represents what he calls a significant and consistent decrease in this category of violence. Charlie and Manda.
KIRO News Radio's Corwin Haig reporting live. It's 7:06.
New rules for cell phones in Seattle Public Schools take effect Monday. Superintendent Ben Schuldener issued a district-wide directive last night.
No offense to OSPI and to the state, but they know it's a problem too. And what was the response? Let's study it until 2030. That's not what we're doing, and that's not the kind of school district that we're going to have here, is that if we know we've got to do something, we're going to act, we're going to be thoughtful, we're going to listen to folks, and we're going to do what's right.
The new policy bans phones in K-8 schools all day. At the high school level, phones are off limits during class, but permitted during lunch and between periods. School Board President Evan Briggs, Vice President that is, Evan Briggs, is calling for a full ban for high school students too, in addition to those in kindergarten through 8th grade.
It's another day of sky-high prices at the gas pump. We just set a new statewide record in Washington. Here's KIRO News Radio's John Rep.
Gas prices around the state have never topped $5.57 a gallon before until this morning. AAA Washington has been tracking the steady climb around the state and in the Puget Sound region where we set a record yesterday. The price this morning? Once again, a record breaker locally for regular unleaded $5.77. Some national context, the only states with higher gas prices are Hawaii and California. In California, they've eclipsed the $6 mark. John Rep, KIRO News Radio.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
I'm looking at Charlie.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Sully, and I'm thinking everything's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Unless you're southbound I-5 through Seattle.
Yep. Your punishment is listening to the most overrated band in the history of the world. Sorry, Nick, that was just for you.
This comes from a guy who hasn't had a Costco hot dog. So
Exactly.
That is true.
With a grain of salt.
Or been to a Trader
all my
Joe's.
taste is in my mouth.
Okay, it's the last day of April, people. It's Friday Eve. Glad to have you with us.
We have a busy show in front of us. Let's go through the cast of characters first, though. That's Sully with his poor musical takes. We have producer David Burbank in the studio. Nick Frasia with good musical takes. He is picking all the tunes and running the board. John Rep is out at the news desk. And as you heard, Corwin Hake filling in for Luke Ducey today.
And coming up this hour, the show will get an update on the war in Iran. Oil prices continue to skyrocket as the blockade on the Strait of Hormuz remains in place. We're going to check in with News Nation's Robert Sherman. He is in Tel Aviv.
In today's 7:35 commentary, Sound Transit staring a massive budget shortfall in the face, and path to digging its way out of the hole could be as easy, at least a little bit here, by installing entry gates. We'll talk about that coming up at 7:35.
It's 7:09 right now. Renton police are looking for information about what led to an early morning shooting that left a 27-year-old man in critical condition yesterday.
Renton police say the man was discovered just after midnight, lying in the intersection at Rainier Avenue South and Southwest Victoria Street with a gunshot wound. There were no witnesses on scene at the time, so Renton PD's Sandra Havlick says investigators have to start from scratch.
Was it random? Was it targeted? Getting surveillance and putting this case together.
If you saw the crime or know anyone involved, you're urged to call the Renton Police Department or 911. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
The man who police say shot a Stevens County Sheriff's deputy this week reportedly told his family he wanted to go out in a blaze of glory.
66-year-old Jim Jordan died after a gunfight with law enforcement outside a home in Suncrest, which is 30 minutes outside of Spokane. This was on Tuesday morning. The Spokesman Review reports the wounded deputy was responding to a home burglary and is expected to recover. Other officers tried to negotiate with Jordan, who stayed in the house. They later sent in a drone, which revealed he'd apparently died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Jordan had been charged with several crimes, including assault, unlawful imprisonment, and harassment in connection with a domestic violence incident in March. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
A Southwest Washington congresswoman is pushing a tax break for police. Democrat Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez and Republican Brian Fitzpatrick are backing the Fuel the Force Act. It would exempt the first $100,000 in income from federal tax for police officers with at least 5 years on the job. Gluesenkamp-Perez says last year she heard about police officers whose families were on food stamps.
This is always going to be a job that requires great sacrifice, but it shouldn't also come at great financial sacrifice for families and law enforcement.
Critics say the bill leaves out other first responders.
A warning from the state, camping could be much messier than usual because of state and federal budget cuts. KIRO 7's Brandon Thompson reports from North Bend, where he says the impact will be very obvious.
People are probably going to notice this right away, even as soon as the trailhead. I've been told that bathrooms, some of them were overflowing across the state last year, and we checked out this one. I'm not going to open that, but just take my word that it needs addressed very soon. But in addition to that, nearly half of Forest Service roads in Washington were impacted by winter storms, and with the statewide drought, there's wildfire concern as well.
Sometimes I'm glad to do a radio show.
So you don't have to see what was in there?
Trump administration's budget for next year proposes a 25% cut to national park funding. That could mean thousands of people losing their jobs.
And the executive director of Parks Tacoma has resigned just one day after voters weighed in on a bond measure to help fund the park system. The News Tribune reports Sean Sylvia stepped down from his post yesterday as the agency struggles with a $3 million budget deficit that'll likely mean deep cuts and reduced services. Sylvia acknowledged the deficit was partially because of lax oversight and a budgeting error that didn't take lost revenue into account.
At 7:12, let's get a check on the weather. KIRO 7 meteorologist Nick Allard joins us. Still not going to call it 80 on Sunday, are you, Nick?
Still going with about 79, but at the end of the day, I just don't. Yeah, I don't know if it matters. I mean, that's the thing. We're pretty much just right there anyway. So 79 to 80 for sure this weekend, but that also means you're going to find some mid-80s, probably in the Cascade foothills, and for the coast, you're going to find some warm hot spots as well. But I'm thinking Seattle's going to be right around 79 to 80, and it will be Sunday and it will be Monday. Today, we have a lot of high cloud cover pushing in, and that high cloud cover is going to stick around through about mid-afternoon, then taper off, and we'll see some sun again late in the day for a couple of hours. But mostly cloudy tomorrow. That doesn't change much at all. I think you're just going to see some increasing sunshine Saturday, and then it's just hot Sunday and Monday. Cooling it off from there. We'll be in the low 70s. So, yeah, the next week temperatures as we cool off are still in the low 70s, which just look great.
Yeah, it looks great this morning as we start off the day. It's clear, sunny, 50 in Seattle.
It's 7:13. You know what doesn't look great? Your drive. Sully is here with an update on traffic.
Yeah, it's really ugly coming down out of the north end, more so than even a typical day. I know you guys have gotten used to it with the lane configurations, the loss of the express lanes in the southbound direction. That coming down I-5 is not going to be easy. But we have a crash right now right at Mercer that basically has closed all but one lane of southbound 5. This is a crash involving a couple of different cars and a motorcycle. What you have to do as you're coming across the Ship Canal Bridge is merge all the way over to the 2 right lanes and then merge immediately back all the way to the 2 left lanes, and only the little sliver in the middle is getting by. It's about an hour and 40, maybe a little bit more from Everett into Seattle, with an hour and 20 of that just from Linwood. 99 is not very viable as an option at this particular moment. It's bumper to bumper from about Northgate, or basically past the North Seattle College, all the way down into Queen Anne. So no joy there. Lake City Way caught up into this as well. So is westbound 520, but not as bad as you might envision. Coming down from Linwood, it looks relatively standard. I think people are kind of going that direction. Overall, an hour and 10 minutes from Everett to Bellevue is about average. So I suggest that you might even consider going that way to save some time and then catch a lake bridge back. In Tacoma, we have the 2 right lane blocked in 2 spots right around the 56th on-ramp. And so we're bumper to bumper from 512. Over 50 minutes from Olympia into Tacoma is about a 15-minute delay. And then Federal Way to Seattle is under 50. That's actually pretty positive. Puyallup to Renton also under 50. I'm wondering if people are sneaking out of work today with the sun flu and maybe teeing off. Looking at Renton to Bellevue, same deal. It's under a half an hour, so that's actually pretty good. This report brought to you by KIRO Newsradio's app. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows. Get the latest news and updates right to your phone.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Well, there's a new report from the Pentagon saying the war in Iran has cost the United States at least $25 billion.
This as the price of oil continues to skyrocket and the U.S. blockade on the Strait of Hormuz remains in place.
So let's dive a little deeper on the conflict with News Nation correspondent Robert Sherman, who joins us live from Tel Aviv. Robert, maybe we can start with the testimony from the Secretary of Defense yesterday, appearing in front of Congress to talk about the war. What were some of your takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, to no surprise, we anticipated that the secretary would come out swinging in order to defend all of these operations here and have some choice words for some of those lawmakers. And it certainly did not disappoint from that end. I mean, it was a rather fiery testimony that you had up on Capitol Hill. You made mention of the fact that that $25 billion number came out, and but it's a big number. There's no two ways about that here. But I mean, there has also been this unabashed stance from both the White House and the Pentagon about at any cost not letting Iran get a hand on nuclear weapons or develop nuclear weapons, back them away from their nuclear ambitions. As it so happens, Iran's supreme leader just broke his silence just a few minutes ago and vowed that Iran would not back away from their nuclear programs and not back away from their missile capabilities, viewing those as a national right and saying that that is something that they would defend as if they were any other natural resource. And that Supreme Leader also had a warning for the U.S. Navy, saying that the only place they belong out here is at the bottom of the Arabian Gulf and the Sea of Oman. So there is no shortage of defiance that is coming out of Tehran. I mean, here we are 2 months into this whole thing, and still publicly, at the very least, not giving in.
Some legal experts are calling the U.S. action in Iran war crimes. Did Hegseth address that?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that, of course, they have criticized, of some of the operations there. I mean, one lawmaker brought up, the issue, of the school, that's in that was in southern Iran that was hit in the early days of the war as well. I mean, the United States has not backed away from their posture here in the region, believing that they are within the boundaries of everything that they're doing here and proceeding forward. I mean, the bigger question is going to be the total support, for this operation here. As you have already started to see, that some Republican lawmakers losing a bit of support. It's starting to leak a little bit, from the Republican side of the aisle. So, I mean, the question is exactly, can these operations continue forward, if they leak any more support here? And right now, no indications that this is stopping. We know that there are reports as well that today the president is getting briefings from Central Command about whether to return to kinetic strikes in order to push Iran back to the negotiating table. That is going to be very interesting to see if this all kicks off again here, for the purpose of restarting these negotiations.
Robert, as you know, there have been questions about the health status of the Supreme Leader, the Ayatollah. You mentioned his note this morning. Was that a verbal statement? I guess what I'm asking is, what kind of proof of life do we have on this guy?
Right. Yeah, you're asking the astute question here. I mean, once again, it was a statement that was released in print and a statement that was read out on Iranian state media. We have not seen or heard from him since the start of all of this. Now, I mean, there have been some, Iranian reports that have suggested that he has been, behind the scenes making some of these decisions, giving blessings on negotiations or not. I mean, bottom line is that we have not seen him in public, So, I mean, the indications from the U.S. are that he is alive. That is the latest intelligence that has been shared publicly by the Pentagon and the White House, that he is alive, likely severely injured. I mean, to what extent remains to be seen, but you haven't seen him yet, which seems to be pretty telling here. Otherwise, I mean, it stands to reason, that we would have seen him by now, if he were scratchless.
President Trump says he spoke to Russian President Putin this week about the war with Iran. Do we know anything about that conversation?
Yeah, it lasted over 90 minutes, and the Russian leader gave warnings to President Trump about the prospects of putting boots on the ground in Iran, saying, that it would be a dangerous mistake in order to do anything like that. I thought that was interesting. And then, I mean, unrelated, for the situation in Ukraine, also floating the idea of a ceasefire going into effect, which coincides with Victory Day, May 9th in Russia. What remains to be seen if that ultimately comes into effect, as there have been proposals like this put on the table in the past. But it is some movement that you are seeing here, and significant every time that these two world leaders get on the phone together.
Robert, give us a little international perspective here with this oil crisis, which continues to grow. Are international countries around the world, are they ready for what looks like may be about to happen if the strait doesn't open up anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the definition of ready, right? So I would nuance it from the standpoint that, I mean, you've already seen airlines like KLM canceling like 160 flights already. I mean, there are flight cancellations that are already beginning around Europe, which is where this is really expected to start to hit, in the coming weeks here. I mean, you just had the International Energy Agency coming out and saying, I mean, this is about to be a crisis that they've never seen before. There is a distinction to be made between, running low on jet fuel, in which the price goes up, and running out of jet fuel is what I would say. And that second one, we've still got a ways to go until, the bottom of the barrel, quite literally, is getting scratched here. But it is about to impact a lot of people. I think about Americans, who are planning to take overseas trips, that's about to get way more expensive. I mean, and it already is. It already has gotten more expensive, but I mean, depending on how long this goes, that's when, this moves into, more significant territory. For now, I mean, the most pressing area that you're going to see this hitting is going to be the cost of flights, flight cancellations, flight operations, particularly in Asia and Europe.
We only have about 30 seconds left. I'm just curious what it's like to be in Tel Aviv right now. Is it business as usual there?
Yeah, I mean, good question. I mean, as I, look down here, I mean, there are people at the beach right now. There are people who are, going to restaurants and sitting in cafes. There is a feeling here that this might be done. I mean, at the very least, people are hoping that they get, calm for a longer period of time. But I mean, there is this feeling here that maybe this doesn't renew. Maybe we have a ways to go until you start to see missiles flying again. But I mean, as we always know here in this region, things change instantaneously. So people are in the back of their mind ready for that.
And I'm just looking at the Tel Aviv weather right now, sunny and 69 on a Thursday evening. Not bad at all, Robert.
It could be worse. It definitely could be worse, as I look out at the Mediterranean right now.
All right. News Nation's Robert Sherman live in Tel Aviv for us. Robert, thank you. We need to get over to Chris Sullivan for this big traffic hassle.
Yeah, we've got big problems coming down from the Linwood area on I-5, getting into downtown Seattle. If you could find any way to avoid your trip on southbound 5 into Seattle, do it. We've had basically the freeway shut down since about 5 a.m. this morning. Only the center lane is squeezing through at Mercer. We have a crash involving a couple of different cars and a motorcycle. The motorcyclist was rushed to Harborview. We don't have an update on the condition there, but what happened is the cars are in the two left lanes. The motorcycle, what's left of it, is in the two right lanes. So as you come across the Ship Canal Bridge, you have to merge all the way over to the right and then immediately merge all the way back over to the left through one little lane. And we have about a 10-mile backup and over an hour and 40-minute trip from Everett into Seattle. That is a 30-minute delay. So just ugly, a massive delay that starts right up by about 175th. 99, not a very good option for you. It's bumper to bumper as well from about North Seattle College all the way into Queen Anne. 405 getting caught up into this as well. It's bumper to bumper from Linwood on down, over an hour and 20 from Everett to Bellevue with an hour from Linwood. So not a great day out of Snohomish County. Coming the other direction, not pretty either. We got a 30-minute delay getting into Tacoma from Olympia. That drive running over an hour. Crash right near 56th in South Tacoma, blocking the right lane in two spots right there around that on-ramp. And we're backed up onto 512 westbound, caught up into this as well. Now, the rest of the map, up the 405 and Valley Freeway corridor, not bad. 45 minutes, y'all up to Renton, and about a half an hour from Renton to Bellevue. So that's actually positive. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Get 20% off energy-efficient windows and doors, plus thousands of dollars off complete home installs through April 30th. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Just a few clouds throughout the day, 72 for today. Tomorrow, more cloud cover and 71, and then the weekend looks gorgeous. 72 Saturday, pushing 80 on Sunday and on Monday as well. Right now, sunshine and 51 in Seattle.
Coming up, a Thurston County judge blocks a new law involving sheriffs in our state. And in the 735 commentary, San Francisco and Seattle have several things in common. One thing they're doing better than us, getting a return on their transit investments. I'll explain at 735.
This is Seattle's Morning News.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO Newsradio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community. Not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington. Call Davis Law Group today.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Support comes from Amazon Business. You can't rely on guesswork to run your business. With smart business buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Empower your team today. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Save $2 when you buy 2 cans of Superior Products Coverall Tire Dressing. Plus, get 4 times O Rewards points now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, John, why don't you tell everybody why you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic?
No, I don't want to do that. I can tell you, I started going to Longevity Medical Clinic before I started doing these commercials, but that why I went is not important.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. I'll tell you. I was a Sammamish City Council member, and whenever they had asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into Longevity Medical Clinic, and I explained this to them, that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
There is one real estate agent who's been helping KIRO listeners longer than anyone else, and that's Wes Jones with sellwithwes.com. Wes, you've helped KIRO listeners in good markets and more difficult ones. What do you think has been the secret to your success?
Experience has taught us that to outperform the market, we needed to do things differently from the status quo, that we needed to do more. Our exclusive system covers innovative marketing locally and internationally, leading to more eyeballs on your home, better listing prep for better showings, negotiation strategies that eliminate pesky buyer contingencies, and generate stronger offers. Through our exclusive client programs, our sellers enjoy an extraordinary marketing experience utilizing techniques a traditional agent cannot offer.
So if you want to sell your home faster, at a higher price, and with fewer contingencies, if you want more, visit sellwithwes.com, sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
Total Wellness at Home is here. Save up to $2,800 on a saltwater hot spring spa and enjoy healthy, relaxing soaks. Save up to $12,000 on an endless pool swim spa for a year-round retreat. These massive savings end April 30th.
We are facing an uncertain time when support for nonprofits is in danger. Now is the time to show up for them. Whether you give a little or a lot, every donation creates big change. Donate to nonprofits during Give Big on May 5th at waggives.org. It's up to us.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:30. A Superior Court judge's ruling partially blocks a new law to regulate behavioral standards for elected sheriffs.
KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake joins us live with details.
A judge in Thurston County has filed a temporary injunction against the law that would have, among other things, compelled sheriff candidates to sign a sworn statement or face removal from office. That law was set to kick in today until it was blocked. 4 Eastern Washington sheriffs had sued, objecting to the part of the law that compels sheriff candidates to swear they will comply with state-set standards of behavior or else possibly face removal. The plaintiffs in this case call that sworn statement an unconstitutional, quote, loyalty oath. Their attorney, Mark Lamb, says the law is also undemocratic. He told the Jason Rantz show on Seattle Red the ruling upholds, quote, the right of the people to elect their own representatives without supervision from Olympia. Meanwhile, Washington Solicitor General Noah Purcell, arguing for the state, says the whole lawsuit is based on a misunderstanding of the new law. So we're going to have to wait for this lawsuit to play out to see if that law will ultimately take effect.
All right. Corwin Hake reporting live. live for us. It's 7:31.
Congressman Adam Smith had some choice words for Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, who testified on Capitol Hill yesterday about the cost and justification of the Iran war. Here's KIRO Newsradio's John Rep.
The hearing focused on the proposed $1.5 trillion in defense spending, a historic budget amount. Congressman Adam Smith, ranking member on the House Armed Services Committee, said the administration needs a reality check.
Was it a week ago Friday, the president announced that Iran had agreed to give up their nuclear program, to give up their ballistic missile program, to stop support for terrorist groups, to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The only problem with that is literally none of that was true.
He asked Hegseth for a more concrete plan, noting the cost in dollars, human lives, and global impact. John Rep, KIRO News Radio.
There is some great news out of Pierce County. 2 missing siblings had walked away from their Edgewood apartment complex last night. Well, now they have been found safe. Detectives posted the update and passed along a thank you to the neighbors and community members who helped with this search.
And it's official. The state has never seen gas prices this high before. Latest numbers from AAA show a new record for regular unleaded this morning, topping out at $5.57 a gallon in Washington. Prices are 20 cents higher here in the Puget Sound area at $5.77, also a new all-time high. Only Hawaii and California are higher. California is now at $6.01 a gallon. For context, the national average is $4.30.
Only. 7:33. Time to check in with Sully for traffic. We still have a big hassle on I-5.
Yeah, and if you really want to watch your gas go up in smoke, I mean, theoretically, it'll go up in your exhaust. That's what you're going to have on I-5. It is not moving. We have about a 10-mile backup on southbound I-5, beginning almost at the county line, going all the way down to Mercer, where we have basically just the center lane getting by. 2 left lanes are blocked, 2 right lanes are blocked, so you have to jog to the right, then jog back to the left. Everyone caught up in this. It's over an hour and 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle, at least a 35-minute delay, probably closer to an hour and 50 now, with 90 of those minutes just away from Linwood. And you would imagine a 99 southbound, that might be an option. Well, it really isn't. It's bumper to bumper from North Seattle College all the way into Queen Anne. Westbound across the 520 bridge, now really getting caught up in this, as is Lake City Way. A lot of people bailing and heading over to 405, as you would imagine. Hour and 10 from Linwood, hour and a half all the way from Bellevue, so not exactly a great day there. Northbound I-5 really struggling into Tacoma. Crash right at 56, still blocking the right lane in 2 spots right around that on-ramp. Over an hour from Olympia to Tacoma is plus 30. We also have brake lights into and through DuPont. This one's causing a ripple effect slowdown on westbound 512. We also have a new crash on eastbound 512 right at the top of the South Hill. So, why not? Join the party. Looking at Puyallup to Renton of about 50 minutes, 50 from Federal Way to Seattle, Renton to Bellevue about 35. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app and stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
Well, the sun is shining. You got that going for you. Partly sunny, 72 for today. Tomorrow we'll see a few more clouds roll in, 71. Saturday, partly sunny, 72. And we'll see the clouds early on Saturday. And then Sunday, sunshine and 79. Same deal on Monday. Right now it's sunny and 51 in Seattle.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO News Radio.
And it's time for the 7:35 commentary. Let's start with a number, 61%. That's the share of Link Light Rail riders who actually pay their fare. Roughly 4 out of every 10 people riding Sound Transit's light rail right now are riding for free on your dime. And they're doing it while Sound Transit stares down a $34.5 billion funding gap and gets ready to ask you for more money. Some Sound Transit employees I've spoken with are skeptical even of that 61% number. They think the real share of non-paying riders is higher. Some say much higher. Light rail ridership around here is based on the honor system. There aren't any gates. You walk right on the train. Last week, I talked about how King County Metro brought back fare enforcement officers, 30 full-time employees, tens of thousands of hours. It resulted in 8 citations last year, and all of them were voided. Not one single rider paid a fine. That's what happens when you build a system designed to educate instead of enforce. Now, San Francisco looked at numbers like this, and actually, they did something about it. Seattle's looking at the numbers like this and scheduling more meetings. Sound Transit is currently studying whether to install actual fare gates at 5 of its busiest stations, a pilot program. They might make a decision by the summer. While Seattle studies the idea, San Francisco already ran the experiment. BART, the Bay Area Rapid Transit System, just spent $90 million installing new fare gates at all 50 of its stations. Tall, clear gates with sensors that catch if you try to tailgate. You either pay or you don't get in. The results came back. They recovered $10 million a year in fare revenue. That's actually the smallest return on the investment. Corrective maintenance dropped nearly 1,000 hours system-wide in the first 6 months alone. I'm talking about graffiti, vandalism, heavy soiling, the kind of damage that needs a specialized crew, not just a janitor. At several stations, those maintenance calls dropped to zero. Overall crime fell 41%. BART tried everything else first. More police, increased patrols, blitz operations. None of it worked. What the gates did that enforcement officers couldn't was change the math at the front door. Pay or don't enter. The people smoking on the platform, sleeping in the elevators, harassing other riders, most of them weren't paying anyway. You fix the front door and you change the whole station. Now, $90 million sounds like a lot of money. It is. But it's about 0.25% of the $34.5 billion hole Sound Transit is already in. And based on the recovered revenue and saved maintenance costs, the gates pay for themselves in just a couple of years. Now, someone's going to argue that fare gates hurt low-income riders. We have the Orca Lift card around here. It drops fares to $1 a ride for anyone who qualifies. The first card is free. The reduced fare system is already built. A gate doesn't eliminate access. It just ends the honor system. Now, I know part of the light rail runs at street level, especially through Rainier Valley. Putting gates on an open sidewalk is a real engineering headache. There's safety, emergency exits, multiple entry points. I get that, and those aren't trivial problems. But the 5 stations they're looking at for this pilot, well, they're basically big concrete boxes. Put gates on the boxes. You can figure out the street level stuff later. Don't use it as an excuse to delay what you can easily do right now. You can't collect fares from just 6 out of 10 riders and then turn around and ask voters for another dime. Not until you do the obvious thing first. The BART data is in. The gates work. It's time to stop studying and start building. And that's the 735 commentary for Thursday, April 30th, 2026. Text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476. You can join the chat on our YouTube Live at KIRO Newsradio, and you can always leave a comment on the article at mynorthwest.com.
It's 7:39. Sully, take it away.
Well, we're going to deal with about a 10-mile backup getting into the Seattle area. We'll break it down for you next.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
It's a fact. When your eyes work correctly, light focuses through both your cornea and your lens to give you high-quality vision. Hi, it's Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision. Here's another fact. As we near age 50, we begin to lose the quality and function of our natural lens. That's when we start to reach for reading glasses and contemplate those cataracts on the horizon, typically in our 70s or later, but inevitable if we get old enough. Fortunately, K2 Vision has the advanced permanent solution for both, refractive lens exchange, or RLE. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. Plus, another thing is permanent. You will never develop a cataract. After over 20 years replacing over 100,000 failing lenses, we will help you determine when it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consult today at K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these 3 books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
7:43 now. We check in with Sully. And Sully, we had a question on the text line. Fernando in Seattle, I was just
writing him a big, long email.
Yeah,
go ahead.
we might as well answer it on air. Why is this taking so long to clear off I-5?
Yeah, so what we have is a crash involving multiple cars and a motorcyclist. The cars are blocking the 2 left lanes right at Mercer. The motorcyclist, the motorcycle came to rest on the right-hand side. The motorcyclist was taken to the hospital. And again, we don't know the condition. So what we have is, why is it taking so long? Why not just get these cars out of the way? Why not just move the motorcycle? But what they have to do is they have to shoot this with the radar and get everything and reconstruct this as for potentially a death investigation would be my best guesstimate at this point. We don't know if the rider is going to survive. We hope he or she does, obviously. We don't have a condition update. And so when you have multiple cars involved in hitting an object, they have to do every single part of the investigation should this turn into something. So it's basically investigative work. That's what's taking so long. And I've asked the State Patrol, I've asked the DOT, why can't we just do this offline? Do this, and again, it's just the process, especially when you have someone significantly injured. And again, we haven't heard anything about potential, the people who may have struck the driver as well. It's maddening, but it's necessary because you want to make sure that the State Patrol does a thorough investigation here. And so it's not a satisfying answer, but that's about as close as I've always gotten when I talk to the State Patrol. I know they want to get it open as soon as they can, but they got to do right by everybody involved here, and that's just our situation. And that's left us with an hour and 40-minute trip from Everett to Seattle. You compare that to the hour and 20 from Everett to Bellevue, and you see there's at least a 20-minute difference there. But this is a 30-minute delay that starts up at 175th and Shoreline and goes all the way to the scene. 99 is backed up from basically the North Seattle College all the way down into Queen Anne. Westbound 520 caught up in this, so is Lake City Way. As I said, a lot of people have already bailed over to 405. So that's kind of our situation. Not a pretty day on the road. We are still struggling getting into South Tacoma as well. Crash at 56 still has right lane blocked. We have about an hour drive from Olympia into Tacoma, and that's about a 25-minute delay. Westbound 512 caught up in that. Federal Way to Seattle's getting closer to 55 minutes, about 50 up the Valley Freeway, and about 40 from Renton to Bellevue, so that's about average. But yeah, coming down from the north end, great question, Fernando. I get it a lot. That's my best guesstimate, and based on having done this a lot. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Okay, the forecast looks to be nice and sunny today, topping out around 72 in Seattle, 72 tomorrow as well. Low 70s for Saturday, still a lot of sun, and warm on Sunday and Monday, both days, right around 80 in Seattle. Right now downtown, it's sunny and 51.
All right, put on your choke point hat. What's coming up, Sully?
Well, we're going to take a look at the next bridge that's about to be demolished and put back together up in the Mukilteo Everett area. We'll break it down next.
Well, you ever have one of those mornings where you're already behind, you can't find what you need, the closet's a mess, your pantry overflowing, you can't even use your garage? Well, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just that a lot of homes weren't set up to work the way we actually live. Word here for Closets by Design, and they don't do just closets. They help you with garages where you can finally park your car, a pantry you could actually use, laundry rooms, home offices, wall beds, entertainment centers, mud rooms, everything. Key is, it's all custom built in Kent, designed for your home, your routines. There's nothing off a shelf. They don't have anything pre-made. When things are designed right, your day just goes smoother, less clutter, less frustration. Everything finally has a place. So right now, for a limited time, you can get 40% off plus an additional 15% off, and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call them 1-800-BY-DESIGN. Get your project started today.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Thinking about starting your GLP-1 journey? Go to orderlymeds.com/radio. Get access to proven GLP-1 medications, licensed providers, and a plan built for real life. All online. No guesswork, no wasted time. Just real people, real answers, real momentum, and support that actually lasts. Join thousands already seeing results. Start now at orderlymeds.com/radio. orderlymeds.com/radio. Individual results may vary, not medical advice. Eligibility required. See site for details.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
The Edgewater Bridge connecting Everett and Mukilteo opened to cars this week, but even as the finishing touches on that project are completed, engineers are already looking ahead to the next project.
And Sully is here to tell us all about it.
Yeah, because the Edgewater Bridge is just the second of a 3-bridge replacement plan from Mukilteo Boulevard, connecting those two cities. The city of Everett replaced the Maple Heights Bridge near Harborview Park in 2020. It was old, vulnerable to earthquakes, spanned a deep ravine. Edgewater Bridge, same shape. Now it's replaced. So what's up next? Well, if you're looking at the YouTube live video, there we go. The Merrill and Ring Bridge. You probably didn't know that was the name of it, but it's just a mile to the east of the Edgewater Bridge. It is 95 years old. It is 100 feet over another ravine that runs down towards the water. Again, only 365 feet long, but it is vital to connecting Everett and Mukilteo. It's just too old and too vulnerable. They need to get after it. Everett City Engineer Tom Hood.
Edgewater is the second project, and so Merrill and Ring will be the third and final bridge along the Mukilteo corridor, and then we'll have kind of our forever infrastructure in place for the next 100 years.
The bridge project is still in its very beginning stages. Right now, it is just in design.
We're only partially funded for construction right now. So we continue through the design process, which will probably take us into 2028, I would imagine.
I hope you're good with heights. If you're watching YouTube Live, we're about to go over the edge and look down into the ravine. It's pretty deep there, going all the way down towards the water there. Yeah, I was really scared about dropping that iPhone down into there. That would have been an interesting expense to tell our news director. Now, the schedule could slip from 28 to 29, depending on a few key factors.
We have some property acquisitions that we need, which tend to take a long time to negotiate. Assuming the funding comes through, we could begin construction maybe in 2029.
Or potentially 2030. Again, the schedule's kind of up in flux depending on what they do with that acquisition and the funding. Everett Principal Transportation transportation engineer Dan Enrico says the city, though, has learned a lot from these first 2 bridge projects, which should really help this final one go smoothly.
We have literally dozens of lessons learned on Edgewater that will help us on Maryland Ring, from closures to geotechnical exploration to phasing of the project and communications.
Hopefully workers won't find a buried structure on this bridge when they start demolition. You might remember an unexpected structure in the dirt helped delay the Edgewater Bridge project. Speaking of Edgewater, finishing touches underway. Contractors still need to complete the sidewalks. They won't be done for a few more weeks, and Hood is asking that the neighborhood walkers stay off the bridge until work is finished.
We certainly don't want pedestrians on the bridge. It will not be a safe condition. Yes, this is still an active work zone, and it's not yet ready for pedestrians.
The bike lanes aren't quite finished yet either, but of course, riders can share the road with cars with caution, so just be prepared. 3 bridges over some very dicey geotechnical work there. Is if you've ever been up there, this Mukilteo Boulevard runs right along the top of the cliff there, right above the rail lines, basically going right down to the water. So beautiful views, beautiful things, but these bridges are old. They need to get seismically upgraded, and the third one's on the way. Construction, though, probably not for a few more years, but just never too soon to start reminding folks that still have work to do up there.
It's such a hassle when it comes to just getting to your home. You're driving around. You want to go to the grocery store. You're adding so much time to your day. That's what really happens when this happens.
When I talk to the neighbors around Edgewater, the last couple of weeks, or really the year and a half that it's been closed, it's a 400-foot bridge, but it's a 10-mile backup to go from end to end when they had it closed. So that basically the people who live there, who walk their dogs down toward Mukilteo and down to the water, they couldn't do it anymore. Or, that 10-minute trip is now a half an hour to 40 minutes. And that'll probably be similar when we deal with the Maryland Ring Bridge coming up in a couple years.
It'll be beautiful when it's done. The
the
gorgeous.
Edgewater Bridge, I didn't post any new video of the Edgewater Bridge, but it's beautiful. Much wider, big, robust sidewalks, actual bike lanes. It's much wider, seismically put together. And again, as they said, this is 100-year infrastructure that they're doing along this corridor. So hopefully they won't have to be back anytime soon after they finish this third bridge.
All right. Well, that's in the future. We got to talk about right now. Sully, what's going on in traffic?
Well, just some positive news while I was doing my choke point. They moved the motorcycle out of the way and have reopened a couple of lanes on the right-hand side of the freeway, right there at Mercer, where we've been dealing with this crash. So we no longer have to squeeze just through that center lane. So right now we've got, looks like, 3 out of 5 lanes open on southbound I-5 right at that particular spot. So that's positive. Bad news, it's an hour and 45 to go from Everett into Seattle. That is about a 35-minute delay, an hour and 25 of that just from Linwood. 405 has taken a lot of the diversion here as well. We still have about an hour and a half to go from Everett down into Bellevue. Our backup routes to this, 99 southbound, not really a good option. It's bumper to bumper from basically 85th all the way down across or the Aurora Bridge down into the South Lake Union neighborhood. Northbound I-5 struggling getting into and through South Tacoma, continuing to work with this crash at 56th in the right-hand lane. Looks like it might have cleared. We'll have more for you on that in 10, but it's an hour drive, Olympia to Tacoma. Westbound 512 caught up in this. Normal eastbound slowing on 16 has showed up, as has Federal Way to Seattle. That drive at about an hour now. Renton to Bellevue about 40 minutes, Valley Freeway about 50. Lake Bridges, I-90 is certainly a much better option because 520 you're driving right into the backup. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, lovely for today. Partly sunny, 72. Might see a few clouds roll in late in the day. Right now it's sunny and 51 in Seattle.
Coming up, more of the day's top stories. And then at 8:15, the State Superintendent of Public Instruction has a bone to pick with me about a recent commentary. We'll talk to him about that coming up at 8:15.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. One thing the IRS has been working on is to modernize their infrastructure, the software that they use. And, you know, we look at that and say that's great for government efficiency, but in this case, that kind of efficiency means they're spotting people way faster.
They're able to do that, and they have to do that because they have fewer personnel. But look at your own work environment, how technology is replacing people, and you can get as much work done or more with the proper technology. And that's what the IRS's goal is that we need to use technology, especially AI, to make determinations on, okay, who should we go after? Who are we missing?
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we understand improving your home is an investment in your family, and we're here to help make it easier. With our flexible financing, keeping your family safe, comfortable, and dry has never been more affordable. For more than 20 years, Guardian has earned the trust of thousands of homeowners across the Pacific Northwest with a reputation for quality that lasts. So why wait? Start guarding your home today. Call or visit GuardianRoofing.com.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riley with Olympic Hot Tub. Ready to create your home wellness retreat? Whether you love a relaxing session in infrared or traditional steam heat, we have the perfect Hilo sauna waiting for you. Up your wellness game by building your own contrast therapy studio, featuring a new sauna and our amazing Vigor Cold Plunge. Buy both and save up to $5,000. Savings end April 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. A detention hearing today in Washington for the suspect accused of attempting to assassinate President Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. CBS's Anna Schechter has new information about Cole Allen.
He had purchased an Amtrak ticket and taken the scenic route across the country, stopping in Chicago. We have details in this new memorandum filed in federal court yesterday. He was writing notes to himself about the scenery, very bizarre details, but also used that time on the train to research more about the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Oil prices have eased off a bit today, but energy costs this week have been soaring. CBS's Nancy Cordes says there's concern about a prolonged Iran war.
Gas prices jumping 7 cents in just one day to an average of $4.30 a gallon. Global oil prices climbed above $120 per barrel Wednesday, the highest since 2022, as investors came to terms with the possibility of a months-long disruption to supply.
Iran's supreme leader said today in a statement, the only place Americans belong in the Persian Gulf is at the bottom of its waters. CBS's Ramy Inocencio.
He also appeared to say that Iran would not give up its nuclear program or its control over the Strait of Hormuz, which, of course, is not what President Trump, not what members of his cabinet want to hear. Earlier this week, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that. And this is just something that they want to be on the table.
Louisiana officials say the state's congressional primaries won't be going forward next month because of yesterday's Supreme Court decision striking down a majority black congressional district. Now to Southern California, CBS's Carter Evans with the latest on the case against the singer David. He's charged with killing 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
According to the filing, prosecutors believe Celeste was upset about his relationship with other women, threatened to disclose their relationship to end his career and destroy his life.
The Big Three automaker that owns Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Dodge brands has returned to profitability after a rough 2025.
A $440 million first quarter profit isn't very big for a global automaker, but Stellantis lost $26 billion last year. CEO Antonio Filosa says sales are up this year with new Jeeps and Ram pickups coming. Stellantis was helped by a $467 million tariff refund. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 550 points. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here?
How is this possible?
Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
8:03 Thursday morning, time to check traffic on the 3. Sully, it sounds like things are starting to ease.
Yeah, we're finally starting to get some positive direction going on this southbound I-5 mess that we've been dealing with since before 5. We have basically just the far left lane blocked now on southbound I-5 right as you get past Mercer. So most of the freeway has reopened. We still have about a 9-mile backup to chew through at about an hour and 45-minute trip from Everett into Seattle. About a 30-minute delay, so hopefully that will get better. The ripple effects of this is that the Lake City Way area approaching I-5 is not pleasant. So, southbound 99 from basically Northgate all the way down into South Lake Union, not pleasant either. And westbound 520, you're driving right into this backup. So plan on lengthy delays there across the lake. I-90 is a much better bridge. Looking at the drive from Linwood down into Bellevue, that's also taking some diversion. It's about an hour and 20 total from Everett into Bellevue, so 20 minutes faster than I-5. The northbound 167 corridor, we're seeing an average day for you guys, about 50 minutes there. Renton to Bellevue is about 40. 50 from Federal Way to Seattle, and we have cleared the crash on northbound I-5 right at 56th in South Tacoma. We still have some work to do through the area, and it's still up to about an hour drive from Olympia to Tacoma. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. You can learn more at globalcu.org.
8:04 on the Thursday, April 30th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
There is some good news in the fight against youth gun violence. The number of young people injured by guns has plummeted under a King County health program that stresses community intervention.
KIRO Newsradio's Corwin Hake is following this story and joins us live.
You know, those gun injuries spiked all across the county during the pandemic, and these new positive numbers reflect the health department's response to that crisis of violence. Now, in the city of Kent, in one case, this change is especially dramatic. Eleuthera Lish is director of the County Office of Gun Violence Prevention. She says youth-involved firearm injuries in Kent dropped 32% between 2023 and the present.
Incidents involving firearm injuries involving young people have now dropped below pre-pandemic rates, and Kent has dropped even further below the pre-pandemic rates than the average across King County.
So what's made the difference? Lish credits a model called CVI, Community Violence Intervention. This involves extra patrols of gun violence hotspots, but also what Kent Police Chief Rafael Padilla calls relentless engagement with at-risk youth.
It's difficult to measure what's been prevented, but I'm confident and I want to attest to
This partnership is making real and meaningful difference in the safety of our young people in Kent.
And now the program notes similar declines in gun violence all across the county, but perhaps nothing as dramatic as the 6-month period from June to December 2025, when Padilla says his police force responded to 0 youth gun-related incidents.
Corwin Hake live with our report. It's 8:06.
Seattle Public Schools is banning cell phones in classrooms starting Monday. Superintendent Ben Schuldiner announced the new district-wide rules last night.
This district deserves a clear, cogent, concise cell phone policy that not everybody's going to love, but at least we think is going to really move the needle towards success.
For K-8 students, phones must be off and put away the entire school day. For high schoolers, phones will be banned during class time but allowed at lunch and during passing periods. School Board Vice President Evan Briggs says the full ban should also apply to high schools.
The evidence to support that is really actually overwhelming. The stricter the cell phone policy, the better the outcomes.
Schuldiner says with most high schools having open campuses, a full ban would not be enforceable.
Well, here we go again. Another day of sky-high prices at the gas pump. We set a new statewide record in Washington. Here's KIRO News Radio's John Repp.
Gas prices around the state have never topped $5.57 a gallon before until this morning. AAA Washington has been tracking the steady climb around the state and in the Puget Sound region where we set a record yesterday. The price this morning, once again a record breaker locally for regular unleaded $5.77. Some national context, the only states with higher gas prices are Hawaii and California. In California, they've eclipsed the $6 mark. John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
Congressman Adam Smith confronted Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth in his first testimony on Capitol Hill since the Iran war began.
I looked through the Secretary's remarks, and I've heard you give speeches before about this, about how realism is our strategy. And I find that absurd, and given what we are doing.
He says the Iran military strategy is not grounded in reality, especially in light of the 2027 military budget proposal, which would boost defense spending to a historic $1.5 trillion.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
You know, Nick does a great job picking the music, but he missed an obvious one this morning.
Uh-oh. What could it be?
Nick.
What is it?
In Sync. It's going to be May.
Oh.
We still have time.
Well, that's like tomorrow. I guess it's going to be May.
Yeah. Today, April 30th. Tomorrow is May.
It's only 8:09.
Okay.
We have until 9 o'clock.
You're saying Nick has a chance to redeem himself.
I'm saying there's a chance.
Not by playing whatever garbage band you just named.
In Sync?
Yeah, whatever. Boy band versus Chicago? Are you kidding me?
Boy bands are not in my element, I'll admit.
Yeah, they shouldn't be in anybody.
Were there any female members in Chicago? I think you could then call it maybe a boy band.
Well, probably the backup singers.
It's classic rock at this point.
Lots of backup singers.
Okay, yeah, it is April 30th. Glad to have you with us. He's Charlie Harger.
They didn't dance around as much for Chicago.
Manda Factor. He's Chris Sullivan watching traffic, which is getting a little bit better, Sully, yes?
A little.
All right.
John Repp is out at the news desk. Corwin Hake is filling in for Luke Ducey this morning. And how about those Mariners?
Very
the 2-2. Swung on and missed, and that's the ball game. Munoz gets the punch out. The Mariners come from behind, and they get the win in Minnesota. A 5-1 road trip for the Mariners.
They're back to 500. First time since April 3rd. One game back in the AL West.
All right. They take today off. They'll be back in action tomorrow. You're going to want to stay tuned because coming up in about 7 minutes,
Chris
Charlie
Rakedahl, the state superintendent of public instruction, had some critique for a recent commentary I did about Washington State test scores. We're going to talk with him about that live at 8:15.
Also, KIRO News Radio's James Lynch takes a look back at the life and legacy of Elma Cam, a Washington woman who lived to 112 years old.
It is 8:10 now here on Seattle's Morning News. A King County couple is accused of stealing more than $2.5 million from a dead man. Seattle Times reports Ronald and Melissa Wisner forged the will of a 73-year-old Boeing engineer who died by suicide in Issaquah last year. The man lived alone, had no immediate family. Prosecutors say Wisner claimed they were dear friends. There's no evidence they even knew each other. He faces 22 charges, and arrest warrants are out for both of them. The couple is believed to have fled to New Mexico.
A judge has temporarily blocked part of a new Washington law aimed at increasing oversight of county sheriffs. The ruling came after an emergency hearing in Thurston County, where several eastern Washington sheriffs sued, calling the law unconstitutional. The measure would allow a state commission to suspend or revoke a sheriff's certification over certain conduct or speech. A judge ordered a temporary halt to parts of the law just one day before it was set to take effect.
A Lake Stevens man who created one of the biggest toy franchises of the 1980s has died.
By the power of Grayskull.
It's your favorite part.
Yeah, every afternoon in the 80s we had it on He-Man. Roger Sweet was the Mattel designer behind the toy, the muscle-bound hero of the Masters of the Universe toy line and cartoon. According to the Herald, Sweet was 91. He also created Skeletor and She-Ra. Those toys became a billion-dollar hit for Mattel, but Sweet later said he never saw his fair share of the money. He once described himself as a puny guy, pretty much the opposite of the character that made him famous.
David, did you watch He-Man in reruns or anything?
No, but I did when I was at the movies earlier, like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah?
There's a preview for a live-action one that looks like a big-budget thing, so that should be interesting.
I was afraid of Skeletor, I'll have you know.
Oh, yeah. Very scary. It's 8:12. Let's check in with Nick Allard from KIRO 7 as we look at the forecast for today and the weekend.
Well, we're looking at some increasing high clouds. I don't really expect those to change or to move much until late in the day. So we're going to find plenty of cloud cover, and then you'll see late day some sunshine. So yeah, the clouds are pushing in, and then you'll see late day sun. We'll get temperatures that'll be mild in the low 70s to mid 70s. And then tomorrow it's just a mostly cloudy day. I don't think we get to change much. I do think, though, you will see plenty of sunshine this weekend. In the afternoon on Saturday, we'll be in the low 70s, and then I expect to be in the upper 70s to 80s or so on Sunday and Monday. It really is going to heat up. Absolutely hot with temps in the upper 70s for Sunday, Monday, and that means places could be into the mid 80s if you're like in the Cascade foothills or, say, at the coast. So get ready for some heat.
Right now, it's sunny and 51 in Seattle.
8:13, time for another traffic update. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. Your turn.
And by the way, you guys probably didn't realize our good friend from 710's Seattle Sports, Brock Hewitt, starred in the original He-Man movie as He-Man.
No, he didn't.
Didn't?
But he could have.
Yeah, look it up. It's pretty sure it's him or it's doppelganger. The drive right now that we have cleared this crash on southbound I-5, still have the left lane blocked right at Mercer, but now that we've opened 4 out of the 5 lanes for the first time in 3 hours, we're definitely starting to see things improve. The travel time is now kind of equal to what we have from Everett to Bellevue. It's still terrible. I mean, an hour and a half from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, but we're getting there. It's just going to take a while for this to clean out. 99 still not a viable option. Westbound 520 also very slow as you approach the I-5 corridor because that's right where the remaining lane is blocked. Northbound I-5 still struggling getting up from 512 in Lakewood up to 56. Earlier crash there. Back under an hour though from Olympia to Tacoma. Federal Way to Seattle 55 minutes. Valley Freeway about 50. Renton to Bellevue is about 40, so we're still seeing some pretty heavy braking there. I'm also looking to see if we might have something on westbound 520 on the ramp to southbound 405 because we've gotten really heavy there trying to make that particular movement this morning. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Get 20% off energy-efficient windows and doors, plus thousands of dollars off complete home installs through the 30th. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
It's 8:15. The nation's tech giants are spending a record amount on AI. Here's CBS News correspondent Michael Wallace.
In their first quarter earnings reports, Meta, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft said they spent a combined $131 billion on capital expenditures, mostly on the data centers that power AI. That was a 71% increase from the same quarter last year. On his earnings call, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg said AI will drive human progress.
I believe that they're going to be some of the most important and valuable products of all time.
Last week, Meta announced 8,000 layoffs as it spends more on AI. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Taylor Swift just sealed her fate as a billion-dollar artist, and she's made sure others get their due as well.
Soon you'll get better.
A non-negotiable clause in Swift's 2018 contract with Universal Music stated that if the company sold any Spotify shares, its artists would be compensated. That clause is set to take effect as UMG prepares to sell about half of its stake in Spotify. The pop star pulled her catalog from the streaming service in 2014 over low payouts, but returned it 2 years later. Last week, Spotify named her the most globally streamed artist of all time. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
It is now 8:16 on Seattle's Morning News. Well, a commentary I wrote last week comparing Washington school spending to student test scores apparently got some attention in Olympia. I pointed out how national testing shows Mississippi outperformed Washington in reading and math scores, despite a massive increase in spending on education here. Well, Superintendent of Public Instruction Chris Rakedahl reached out and asked to come on the show, and I appreciate that. Chris, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I wanted to give you a chance to respond. Where did I get it wrong?
Thanks, Charlie. I appreciate you all. And if you're getting any noise outside of here, there's a little roof replacement going on, so I apologize about that. So here's the thing I was hoping to talk about, and I appreciate you giving me a little time here. There is no Mississippi miracle. I'm close to the folks there. They've worked for 20 years to improve reading scores, and they're doing what we do. They're doing the science of reading, the phonemic awareness. They're teaching kids how to sound out sounds, and they're finally catching up to the country, which is great. And we're about exactly at the same spot by 4th grade. But by 8th grade, Mississippi sinks again to the bottom third of states. And then we're in a place where there's only 5 states that are outperforming us by 8th grade. So some of what we're trying to do is say, like, let's not depress anyone's results that are working hard. Good job, Mississippi. But it's not fair to say that Mississippi's outperforming Washington kids. And by 8th grade, we are absolutely ahead of them. Again, with only about 4 states outperforming us in 8th grade.
So I looked a little into that. I'm just curious because I'm no expert like you are, Chris, but the Urban Institute, researchers there adjusted the scores to account for poverty levels because Mississippi has a much poorer student population than Washington. They said when you level that playing field, Mississippi ranked very highly in 8th grade math in 2024. Is that an apples to apples comparison?
Well, I don't think so, but it matters. I mean, income matters a ton. So when they do those comparisons, it does try to help you understand where states are struggling with really high poverty. So think of Mississippi. They still have the $7 minimum wage. They're sort of really distressed. They get about twice as much money as Washington does from the federal government per kid. So there's a reason people are pouring money into that state. The reason I don't really like those data is it essentially says, well, let's just excuse kids who are low income. They should perform lower. Or kids of color should perform lower. And when you adjust for that, boy, they look great. That is not okay. We would be at the bottom third if we had that logic, given a history of all of our migration, the fact that we have the 2nd largest immigrant population in the United States, second language learners, but only second to California. So I understand why they do that. It's still pretty diminishing to those families to say, well, we expect less of you. Therefore, when we make adjustments, we're actually doing pretty good. That's not okay.
I'm curious to get
for their progress.
I'm curious to get your take on this, Chris, because Mississippi did pass a specific law with a phonics mandate, and they're holding kids back if they can't read by 3rd grade. It seems to be working. Why doesn't Washington have something like that?
Yeah, let's take on 2 things. One, we walked up to that about 10 years ago and looked at the research, and our state legislature said no, because the effects of holding back kids by the time they graduate from high school is really bad. The dropout rate goes up. And here's the thing about Mississippi and others. There's about 5 states that do a lot of this. You get those good 4th grade scores because you then have 10-year-olds taking a test for the 2nd time with another year of learning. And so in 4th grade, it looks like they're doing great. That same kid by 8th grade, again, just the results diminish. They fall way below Washington State, and then they continue to underperform after that. So there isn't a lot of science that says you should hold kids back. You get a nice short-term blip out of it. And you get a lot of 19-year-olds playing football in the Southeast Conference who are high school seniors who start college at 20, but it doesn't necessarily result in long-term success. And so lots of states have looked at it and said, not for us. But I do want to say it is up to families in this state, and any family that chooses to do that in coordination with their school, they can absolutely hold their kid back. And we do see some of that, just not the 8, 9, 10% that we see in southern states.
One of the things from your email to us, from your office's email, is that you want us to put in bigger context, global trends, factors outside school, the fact that 68% of Washington fourth graders aren't reading at grade level according to these tests is what concerned me. But I'm just curious, what specifically are you doing differently than you were 5 years ago? And how will we know if this is working?
Yeah, so grade level is unfortunately defined by too many people as ready for universities. And we do need about 35-40% of our kids going to universities, but basic is what really matters to a lot of kids because they need to go into an apprenticeship program.
But that's not the national standard, right? I mean,
no, it is the national standard. It's just people have defined proficiency as we design backwards. For example, in math, we design it backwards from calculus.
We always used to count proficiency. Yeah, that's. Look, I've got 2 kids in public school. I love public schools, but when I hear that basic is considered proficient, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me when I want kids to be achieving well, especially as we look at a challenging future in terms of a job market.
We agree, but challenging means that kids are ready for lots of things, from becoming a sheet metal worker all the way becoming an engineer. There's very few kids who are going to need to actually get to calculus. So when we say kids are at proficiency levels or basic levels, it matters to us. And we have a third of our kids who are not there in reading, and we have 45% of kids who aren't there in math. Now we're ahead of the nation on average in math, but the entire United States is struggling in math. We are never been more than middle of the pack in international exams, whereas in reading, we're top 6, top 8 in the world. So this is where I think we have this common mind, and I appreciate you letting me come on, because where we do need to really focus is mathematics. And so we're going to have to drive more resources into particularly kindergarten through 5th grade teachers, who some of them are pretty intimidated by teaching math. Mm-hmm. And it's something we've always said for too long. It's like, oh, there's math kids and there's kids who can't do math. No, everyone can be a math kid if they get great instruction. So with our learning assistance program, you asked what we're doing. We're trying to drive lots of money into schools of high poverty in particular to say, where can we focus on getting the best results? Reading is part of that for sure. But what every kid needs more of is mathematics. We have a goal in our state to get every 8th grader to Algebra 1 as best we can. 8th grade. So that's a high school level math course by 8th grade, because when they get there, we see their trajectory is massive. But it's only about a third of our kids. Again, we're ahead of the nation, but it's only 35% of our kids that are getting Algebra 1 by 8th grade. So earlier interventions in math is a critical step. That is the place where we should focus. That is where the data is unequivocal that Washington has to get better.
So we spent a ton of money on McCleary, and a lot goes into the spending with McCleary. And we were looking at the national test results, and it's going in the opposite direction. You look at a chart, the numbers have dropped since McCleary passed. The spending went way up. I'm just curious. I know there's going to be an ask for billions dollars more in the upcoming legislative session. What is an assurance that this time we're not having the same conversation in 10 years, that those numbers change?
Well, 2 things. Those numbers don't tell you where we really are, because you're seeing a drop on a scale score, a 500-point test, and we've moved down, and reading like 3 points out of 500 post-pandemic. So we've got to get better. But the scale of this is awful, and we've talked to the author about this, but I'm not going to dispute the fact that we spend more money across the country and in Washington, and test scores are essentially flat. They're pretty flat in reading. They're down in math. Again, back to mathematics. Part of that, though, is also 50 years ago, we only had 50% of kids going to high school. In the 70s, it was 70% of kids, and now we have 100% who start and about 90% of them who graduate. You are taking students who used to get pushed out of the system, and you are now moving them into 3 credits of math, Algebra 2 and pre-calculus, for example. We're moving kids further than we ever have. But when you take generational poverty and you now say you're going to be in our test scores, you are going to see average scores for a long time. And that's what the whole country has seen. So I don't like this idea of just because inflation's up significantly. And by the way, this had one-time federal money in it. It doesn't adjust for regional cost of living. Again, we've talked to this author. But there's no question we spend more money today and we're getting flat average test scores because we're bringing in so many kids who historically we pushed out, but now you're bringing them in and they're in that test average. So we're kind of at this floor where we are today, and it's going to be hard to budge those numbers, except the good news is we now have all kids participating. They are all in those assessments, which has been dragging numbers down for a long time. I will say this unapologetically, this system needs to grow $600 million a year just to keep up with inflation. fuel for buses, salaries for teachers, healthcare costs, insurance costs. So I don't think we should keep saying that every time we add $1, test scores have to go up. In the same way that your salary, I'm assuming over the last decade, is probably up 30 to 40% if you're like anyone else in the public or private sector. I don't think people are 40% more well-read or more literate listening to media these days, right? It's some things cost more money just to maintain them. And then there's places where we've intervened. So part of that investment is now we have all-day kindergarten. Now we have a significant number of kids getting career and technical education and college credit while they're in high school. We now feed 300,000 more kids than we ever did. So you are getting a lot more for your money, but your average test score is basically flat in reading, and it's definitely down in math, which is why we have to double down in mathematics.
Okay, Chris, we are way out of time. I'm getting the stink eye from the producers. I appreciate you joining us. Let's have this to be continued. Thanks for joining us today.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Chris Rakedahl. Real quick, Sully, with traffic.
Well, we're getting better on southbound I-5. We're still seeing the brake lights, but now they're about average. Give yourself about an hour and 20 from Everett to Seattle, about an hour and a half from Everett to down into Bellevue. Still haven't figured out why we're so slow. Westbound on 520, approaching 405 in Bellevue. I'll hopefully have an answer for you on that in 10 minutes. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
At Madrona Financial and CPAs, we believe there are 7 steps that must be taken in preparation for a successful retirement. Retirement needs more than just a basic income plan. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Nick, you know what my dad always used to say?
Oh, which thing? Let me guess. If you put anything on a hot dog besides mustard, it's un-American?
Okay, that's true. Okay, but no, about the word worry. Remember he used to say about the word worry?
Yes, that it's not a verb, but it actually is.
I know it's a verb, but Nick, his point was nothing comes from worrying. You can sit here and worry about all the news and all about the chaos in the world. You worry about your health, but nothing comes of it. You have to take action.
Right.
Like, for instance, you and I, we go into Longevity Medical Clinic. That's an action. It's about taking that action. Like, people can go to Longevity Medical Clinic, take the free health analysis, and then they can find out how they're aging and the things they can do in order to slow down the process to have a big, full, rich life so you can enjoy a hot dog with whatever you want on it.
And now worry is a verb.
See, there you go. So it all starts with you taking action. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener. Like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV. But if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to it at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
2 years ago, my office launched a major media campaign to identify a key witness to our client's bicycle accident, which we later settled for $10 million. Because when we accept a case, we don't rest until we do everything possible to improve our client's chance of recovery. We're one of only a few firms in the state with an in-house investigation team building our clients' cases. So when you hire Davis Law Group, you don't just get a dedicated and award-winning legal team. You get our commitment to better service and even better results. Request a free consultation today at 206-888-8888.
Our local tax expert and advocate Greg Nunn understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
The action is fierce, the energy is over the top, and it's a night you don't want to miss. It's Excite Fight Live MMA at Muckleshoot Casino Resort on Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. See a full night of incredible combat when MMA fighters face off in the cage and turn the excitement all the way up. Get your tickets now at muckleshootcasino.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's Morning News.
Well, it's 8:32 now. A new state law governing the behavior of elected sheriffs was set to kick in today. That was before a Superior Court judge ruled yesterday to block that law.
We get details from KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake.
A judge in Thurston County has filed a temporary injunction against the law that would have, among other things, compelled sheriff candidates to sign a sworn statement or face removal from office. 4 Eastern Washington sheriffs had sued, calling the statement a loyalty oath and the potential removal a constitutional violation. Spokane County Sheriff John Knowles joined the suit after telling a Senate committee earlier this year,
"I fear that the Senate and the House are willingly stepping into dangerous constitutional waters, and we could further erode public trust in all of government."
A former sheriff, State Senator John Lovick, sponsored the bill, saying the goal was accountability.
Since all peace officers must maintain their certification, these laws need to be updated to make clear what occurs when a law enforcement leader's certification is revoked.
Well, that law is temporarily blocked, and we'll have to wait for the lawsuit to play out to see if it will ultimately kick in. Amanda, Charlie.
Thank you, Corwin. 8:33 now.
It's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. It's been a very busy morning.
And it
Mr. Sullivan.
continues to be so, Amanda. We're still rolling with about an hour and 15-minute trip from Linwood to Seattle or Bellevue, so way behind schedule. This is all caused by an earlier crash that basically squeezed off all the lanes of southbound 5 at Mercer. All the lanes have reopened, so that's certainly positive, but we're just going to have to chew our way through it, and it's going to take a while. Looking at Federal Way to Seattle, about 50 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is running right around 40, so we're pretty heavy through the S-curves, but not bad the rest of the way. And behind that on the Valley Freeway, 40 minutes total from Puyallup to Renton, so that's great. Still have some slowing on northbound I-5 approaching 56th in South Tacoma. That's because we had an earlier crash there, but we're back down to about 42 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma. Westbound across the Lake Bridges, I-90 definitely heavy, 520 not terrible. We do have very heavy slowing on westbound 520 and I-90 approaching 405 though, so keep that in mind. Maybe a minute or two lost there. Haven't had a chance to touch on 18 over Tiger Mountain, hasn't been too bad. 16 over between Port Orchard and Tacoma, actually in very good shape. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Get 20% off energy efficient windows and doors. It's thousands of dollars off complete home installs through April 30th. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
And looking at the forecast, we expect to have sunshine today, a high of 72, low 70s the next few days with plenty of sun. By the time we hit Sunday, we're talking sunny and near 80. Right now it's 51 in Seattle.
Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
It's 8:35. Well, today in Seattle at Evergreen Washelli Funeral Home and Cemetery, Elma Cam will be laid to rest. You may not know the name, but she is a historically significant figure.
Elma Cam was the oldest living Washingtonian before her death on April 9th. She was 112 years, 133 days old. And KIRO News Radio's James Lynch spoke with Elma's granddaughter about the family matriarch and a life well lived.
I have enjoyed thoroughly reading about your grandmother and looking at all the pictures.
Talk to me about her and the things about her that make you smile when you talk about her.
You know, there's so many things that make me smile about her. I mean, her warm heart, her energy, her drive. I mean, somebody who has always been inspirational, as somebody who, you know, was born before women could vote and then, you know, worked her entire life all the way until she was 80 and owned a bakery, operated a bakery, and just was just an amazing person, very driven, very loving in her own way, and just an amazing role model who really strived to do well by everybody around her.
Talk to me a little bit about when you think back on her life. What are the things that impress you the most about her life?
What really impressed me the most about her life is what she has gone through and all the things that she's done to better her life. You know, so she was born, you know, and the Great Depression happened. She decided courageously to move with, you know, to across the country to California at the time. You know, her and my grandpa drove through the night to get married in Reno. And they just really built that life together. They wanted the best for their kids. And they really came around to where they moved where the opportunity was. And they took hold of that opportunity. And that opportunity, whether it took them from California to Portland to Spokane and ultimately Seattle, where they really landed in Seattle and really just made the best life and enjoyed just the little things in life. Like my grandma's favorite thing was to sit in the sun and enjoy that feeling on her body. And that's pretty amazing to still enjoy all the simple things when no matter what else is going on in the world, whether, you know, it's the bombing of Pearl Harbor, which she remembers, you know, or, you know, going to war, having Vietnam War, so much, you know, adversity that has always gone on, and her just wanting to just see the best in people and really get to know them. That's what really was inspiring and great to me.
Something that a lot of people here in Seattle would probably remember is that she owned a bakery on Capitol Hill. Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah, so she owned Carolyn's Cakes Bakery. She had bought it from Carolyn. So everybody thought Carolyn was her name, but she didn't want to change the name because she wanted that history. And so she and my grandpa owned it. They operated it for 52 years, and they made it their own. So she was the front person. She decorated the cakes. She greeted the customers. Well, my grandpa, you know, woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the bakery to make all the baked goods. And they had their system. Like he had learned from some people in Oregon how to fry donuts. And that's what he had done, you know, on Saturdays. Saturday was donut day. I remember going there as a kid and getting the donuts. It's not the same type of bakery, but it is there today. And she was very proud of all that they had done and all the family members that had owned or worked in that bakery, and the neighborhood kids that worked in the bakery, stopped by the bakery. She was just known for that on Capitol Hill, and she loved it, and she loved the interaction with all of her customers.
So she's going to be laid to rest on Thursday. When you look forward to that day, or look ahead to that day, what do you think the emotions are going to be?
Oh, I think it's going to be a roller coaster. I mean, on one hand, you know, she was 112 years old. I mean, she was the oldest woman or oldest person in the state of Washington. And, you know, she made the record books. If you look up all of the different sites for centenarians and super octogenarians, words I didn't even know before. And you look up that and you see that she made it to 112 years and 4 months and did so well with all of her faculties. I mean, even as of, you know, just a little bit ago on Easter, you know, we saw her and she was sharing stories and talking about it. And to be able to have that kind of interaction, you know, to be as old as I am even, and to have my grandmother still alive, it's a true blessing. So it'll be met with definite sadness. You know, she was the heir. She was, you know, the matriarch of the family. So it'll be very sad, but very impressive and just a very sweet time.
Elma Cam. She was born, if I'm doing my math right, in 1913.
112 in 4 months. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, all right. Well, thanks to James Lynch for that story. Sully, we have traffic coming up?
Yeah, we do, and we're going to take a look at the continuing slowing coming down out of Linwood on both 5 and 405. We'll break it down next.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Hey there, Dawn Riley with Olympic Hot Tub. We're here to help you achieve total wellness at home. Right now, save up to $2,800 on a saltwater hot spring spa for fabulous healthy soaks. Or save up to $12,000 on an endless pool swim spa and turn your backyard into a year-round swim oasis. These massive savings end April 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack and a $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Get out in the sun, get your hands in the soil. A little gardening goes a long way. Hi, I'm Sarah from Sky Nursery in Shoreline. April is a great time to grow your connection to nature. Whether it's native fir trees in your backyard, a thriving patch of flowers, or a walk through your local arboretum. Whatever your adventure, there is something beautiful to discover. Our purpose at Sky Nursery is to support you on your gardening journey with quality plants, supplies, and local knowledge. Celebrate Earth Day, Arbor Day, and Native Plant Month with Sky Nursery. Garden tips and info at skynursery.com.
8:43 now. Chris Sullivan with a look at traffic.
And remember we asked a little bit, Fernando asked why it was taking so long to clear this morning's crash involving a motorcycle. And I've got part of the reason here. Just got an update from the State Patrol. We're the only people that have this. It looks like this crash was being investigated as a potential vehicular assault. Motorcycle and a couple of cars got tangled up. Not impairment, but it's possible that they were maybe racing.
Oh my goodness.
Or something there, but so there's a potential for some charges there here in this. So that's why it took so long to clean up what crashed. And again, we don't have the extent of the injuries of the motorcyclist, but either way, that's what really kind of set the tone for the morning. It was right at Mercer, basically closed the entire freeway, and we're still digging ourselves out of it. We've got about an hour and 35, hour and 40 minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. So way behind schedule, 20-25 minutes slower than it should be. Northbound I-5, still have brake lights in Federal Way, a little bit at the north end. Give yourself an hour from Federal Way to Seattle. Puyallup to Renton, we're running right around 45 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, about 40. We have a new stall across Mercer Island, westbound I-90, right at Island Crest Way. Looks like it's in the left general purpose lane, and we're backing up across the island a little bit, so be prepared for that. 18 over Tiger Mountain is manageable. 16 doesn't look too bad, and we're clearing up most of the slowing in South Tacoma after an earlier crash we had near 56. next. So give yourself just a couple of extra minutes, and that's it. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Beautiful forecast. We're into a really nice stretch of weather for today. We'll see a few clouds here and there, but 72. Tomorrow, a bit more in the way of cloud cover, but still plenty of sunshine, 71. Saturday and Sunday, gorgeous. We'll see plenty of sunshine, up to 79 by Sunday. The heat will stick around for Monday, and then we'll cool back down to the low 70s on Tuesday. Right now, sunshine and 54 in Seattle.
Coming up, G. Scott stops by to discuss the new cell phone ban in Seattle Public Schools. G weighs in next on Seattle's Morning News.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
It is summertime, which means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, fun with the family. And Brad, I'll bet it's easier to pay for with free checking from WaFd Bank.
That's right, Dave. Set your financial goals and stick to them with free checking. No minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Hey, you'll also get spending tools to help you stay on top of your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank rated the best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states.
And tell me more about this card control feature I've heard so much about.
Dave, you can view transactions for individual cards, set controls and alerts, and if you forget your card at the restaurant, you can instantly turn it off while you go back to get it. You'll also have access to free tools like Zelle, mobile check deposit, and when those unfortunate times happen, submit fraud disputes right inside the WaFd mobile app.
And don't forget, you can choose from some great-looking debit cards, including Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves cards. So visit WaFdBank.com and open your account today. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Washington, recent headlines might concern you. Talk of pocket listings or private networks where only certain consumers see certain properties are all over the media. Good news. The legislature recently passed a bill to protect you in your transaction. No secret deals, all listings available for everyone to see, not just an exclusive club of insiders. This means more competition, better offers, and fair access for all consumers. Learn more at warealtor.org, sponsored by Washington Realtors.
Seattle's Morning News. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, there he is from the G and Ursula Show, 9 to noon every weekday, KIRO News Radio. G. Scott is here. I'm looking forward to this one today. I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about this.
You don't know where I land on this one?
Oh, I think I do. And that's why I'm so excited, because I think we're in lockstep.
So here's what's happening. We're talking about cell phones. Seattle Public Schools right now are rolling out new cell phone restrictions on Monday. So K through 8, phones off all day. High school, phones banned in class. So basically, everybody's saying it's such a distraction. You know, the cell phones, you can't bring those in school. So let's see. Since I was a young boy, and since my father was a young boy, and my grandfather was a young boy, school lasts 7.5 hours, everyone. And you know what? The school curriculum, when my grandfather was in school, it's still the same. It's still the same. And I'm talking about my grandfather was in school in the 30s. You know what I'm saying? And my dad was in school in the 50s. School curriculum is literally still the same. You graduate and you go work at the factories. Oh, wait. Listen, you got AI taking jobs. You got people getting laid off in real time. You got tech moving at warp speed. Matter of fact, let's get to it. Over the last 12 months, roughly 340,000 tech workers have been laid off. Almost half of those are recent ones that got replaced by some type of AI. Has there been in the news anything about how much money is being spent with AI
Oh,
and
my
all these
gosh.
big companies?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't get why we are thinking backwards. So my take is this. Why don't we just integrate the cell phones into school curriculums? Let's quit having this same type of subjects. Teacher, raise your hand. What do you want, Charlie? Can I use the restroom? It's so outdated. Can we get school curriculum to move? So the cell phones, which I agree, they can be a distraction if they're not used. Bring cell phones and let them be actual integrated into school curriculum. I go back to my time in accounting when I went to school in accounting. And I thought accounting was the dumbest subject ever. It was stupid to me. I didn't get it. But now I actually love accounting. I love talking about money. If I were a teacher, why can't that teacher just go to the bank, get $100,000 cash, come in the classroom, first day of class, and say, boom, throw $100,000 on the desk. Guess what? You got my attention. All right, class, we're going to learn how to balance this amount of money. Now, right now, you guys think I'm crazy. You think I'm nuts. But here's the truth. There's a lot of things that are being done, and people are saying, do this because I said so. Go to college for 4 years and get a $200,000 loan because I said so. We need to start thinking in different ways. So cell phones are going to be banned. Okay, no problem. Now what does the future hold?
I think at least my kids in the Auburn School District, I presume this is other school districts as well, they're always carrying around those Chromebooks. So they're on a computer all day long. And what I found interesting is when those books, those laptops are deployed, you can look at test scores and they go down. Like every district, I've had teachers say, yeah, we need technology, but they also go, the way it's being deployed right now is not working.
Yeah.
I just worry about that.
Yeah. Who cares about like this whole test scores thing? I think that's another. You guys gonna get me going. You guys are gonna get me going because the same folks, this whole outdated model of test scoring.
Well,
what
kids
about
need
this?
to be able to read.
Okay,
they need to be able to do math and be able to function in society.
Well, let's talk about King County. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just take test scores in King County, right? So the test scores are going to look different at schools where you have a lot of kids where English isn't the first language, but you have some schools where they have all English, so they don't have to worry about the people, the immigrants that come into this country, right? So those school test scores are looked at as bad. But there's context to the test scores. And so a lot of people that scream, well, what about the test scores? For some reason, forget about the context that goes behind that. Because there's some teachers in schools that are teaching way more than the quote-unquote test scores. They are teaching this young man or this young lady, hey, let me teach you how to speak English first.
Yeah. Not disagreeing with that. What I will say is you are able, one of the things I was bringing up with Rakedahl, that you are able to factor that in. And you're able to find that these kids are really smart. The immigrant kids who don't speak English. There are variables, there are mathematical equations you can do to do some level setting on that as well. And it's been done. And it's showing these kids are really smart despite what those particular test scores may be showing.
You want to know the best way to help you out in school? If you're not hungry. So then there's that element too, right? There's some parts of King County. But what I'm saying is those things don't show up on the test scores. Right? So if you have a kid in the SeaTac Tequila area and you have a kid in the Bellevue area, somebody's going to say, well, the Bellevue area school test scores are better than in the Tequila. Well, because some of the kids in Bellevue ain't hungry and some of the kids in Tequila are. There you go. Good
9 to noon.
With that, you may be excused.
Sully, take it away.
And we are looking at hour and 35-minute trips from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Behind schedule by about 10 or 15 minutes now after that long-term crash we had on I-5 at Mercer. All the lanes there have cleared. Looking at the Lake Bridges or I-90 corridor first, let's go westbound across Mercer Island. Really heavy because the left lane remains blocked for a stall as we get into Island Crest Way. Plan on about an extra 15 minutes to go from Bellevue to Seattle. Same travel time for for 520 as well. Also seeing seeing some slowing for construction eastbound across 520 going over toward Medina. We also have construction going on, or maintenance, which is blocking a lane on northbound 405 right as you pull away from I-5 in the South Center area, so that's not great. Valley Freeway back under 45 minutes, about 45 from Renton to Bellevue. Coming up from Olympia, no problems for you guys. So we've kind of made it through the fray, but boy, it's a tough morning. Let's hope for Friday light tomorrow. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org.
And our forecast, it's going to be a beautiful day. We'll hit 72 for today, 71 tomorrow, maybe a few more clouds rolling in. Saturday and Sunday look terrific. Lots of sunshine, up to 79 by Sunday. Right now it's sunny and 54 in Seattle.
Coming up, Gene and Ursula have CEO of Izel's Chicken on with them. They are pushing for a nationwide expansion. So he joins the show next on KIRO Newsradio.
Holy smokes!
The On Cruise Adventures Rick Riz Show.
What happened at the ballpark yesterday?
Sparky's sitting on my scorebook here, my cat is.
Friday mornings at 8:15 on Seattle's Morning News. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
You can't control what's happening in the world. You can't control gas prices or what the market does tomorrow. But you can control whether your retirement is protected when the unexpected hits. That's what Rajiv Nagayach has dedicated his career to helping families do. Not just picking investments, but building one plan that brings your healthcare, housing, legal, and financial decisions together into a single strategy. A strategy designed to keep you out of a nursing home, protect your assets, and keep your family from becoming your unpaid caregivers. If the last weeks have made you uneasy about your future, you need help. Join Rajiv at a free 90-minute seminar this May. You'll see where most plans fall short and how yours doesn't have to.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar. In Puyallup on May 5th, Federal Way on May 6th, Bellevue on May 7th, or Linwood on May 12th.